The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
Feeling low.
Feeling tense.
These 8 words are common sense.
Smoke a Lucky.
To feel your level best.
Smoke a Lucky.
To feel your level best.
Yes, to feel your level best. Smoke a Lucky, because Lucky's fine tobacco picks you up when you're low, calms you down when you're tense, puts you on the right level to feel and do your level best. That's what fine tobacco can do for you. And remember, LSMFT, LSMFT, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So the next time you buy cigarettes, ask for the cigarette of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. For remember, Lucky's fine tobacco picks you up when you're low, calms you down when you're tense, puts you on the right level to feel and do your level best. Yes, smoke a Lucky to feel your level best.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, television is not only here, it's here to stay. And like other stars in radio, Jack Benny is preparing for the future. So now we take you out to Beverly Hills. At the moment, Jack is sleeping while Rochester is going about his morning chores.
Well, first I better clean up the living room. What a mess. Television sure has Mr. Benny worried. Every night he rehearses a different act. But he's certainly serious about it. Last night he even had a dancing teacher here. Imagine him trying to do that kind of a dance. Oh, well, I might as well pick up his clothes and let the air out of the balloons. Isn't that cute? He even put an ironing board up on 2 chairs and used it for a runway. Let's see, where'll I put these balloons? Oh, hello, Polly.
A pretty girl is like a melody.
Oh, were you here last night when Mr. Benny was taking his dancing lesson? He'll be happy to hear that. Now, Polly, I'll get you some breakfast as soon as I straighten up the... Coming! Oh, good morning, Mr. Mailman.
Good morning, Rochester. Well, there was too much mail to put in the box, so I thought I'd bring it in. Here are the letters.
Thank you.
And here are Mr. Benny's magazines. Body Beautiful.
Uh-huh.
Women's Home Companion.
Uh-huh.
True Story.
Uh-huh.
Lonely Hearts.
Uh-huh.
And this book, The Manly Art of Self-Defense.
Say, I didn't know...
Oh, pardon me, that goes to Mike Romanoff. Well, I must be getting along.
Is that all the mail you have for Mr. Benny?
No, I'm still carrying that letter with postage due on it. But I guess there's no use going through that again.
No, I guess not. How long ago was that letter mailed?
I don't know. It was handed down to me by my father. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye. Well, I think I'll take this mail to Mr. Benny's room. It's time he got up anyway. Mr. Benny, it's 11 o'clock. Mr. Benny, wake up. Mr. Benny. Gypsy Rose.
A pretty girl.
Boss, it's only me.
Oh, good morning, Rochester. What time is it?
It's 11 o'clock. I brought you the mail. Do you want to look at it?
Oh, yes, give it to me.
Aren't you going to put your glasses on?
I can't. I broke them last night when I fell off the runway. I mean the ironing board.
It's all right, boss. I know.
Well, Rochester, take the ironing board down and hide the balloons. I don't want anyone to know about my dancing. Now, let's see the mail. What's this one? Oh, it's from my violin teacher, Professor LeBlanc. Monsieur Benny, as you know, tomorrow I must give you a violin lesson. I will be there unless I catch pneumonia. Please excuse the writing, as it is dark here in the deep freeze. Open the next envelope, Rochester.
Yes, sir. Oh, here's a letter from Max Factor.
Max Factor? What does he say?
Dear Mr. Benny, this is the third letter we have sent you reminding you of your March payment is past due. Either pay it immediately or we'll snatch it off your head.
Let him snatch it. It's got moth holes all over it. Now, let's see. What's this? This is from the California Bank. It's another letter about that loan.
What are you going to do, boss?
I'm going to turn him down. Now, let's see. That's funny. Here's one from the barber shop on the corner. Dear Mr. Benny, we are writing to all of our customers who got shaved here last Saturday. Are you missing an ear? P.S. If not called for in 30 days, we will add it to our collection. Is there anything else, Rochester?
Just this circular. You won't be interested in it.
What is it?
Here.
Automobile prices reduced. Buy a new car now and save money. Liberal allowances on trade-ins. You know, Rochester, maybe I ought to try and...
I'll get it.
Say, Rochester, no matter who it is, don't mention anything about the new dance I've been working on.
I won't.
Remember.
Coming!
Hello, Rochester.
Hello, Miss Livingston. Come on in.
Mr. Benny home?
Yeah, he's getting dressed. He'll be down in a minute.
Well, then I'll wait. And don't let me interrupt you, Rochester. Go ahead and finish your ironing.
Ironing?
Yes, you've got the ironing board up, haven't you?
Oh, I wasn't using that. You see, Mr. Benny was... Uh-oh.
Mr. Benny was what?
Well, he was getting ready to wallpaper the living room.
Well, back home I used to help my mother paper our house, and Mr. Benny is going at it the wrong way. It seems to me that...
Well, good morning, Mary.
Oh, good morning, Jack. Rochester told me what you were doing with the ironing board.
Oh, he did, eh? Rochester, I told you not to say anything about what...
But, Jack, you should be glad he told me I can show you a few tricks.
What do you know about it?
Oh, I used to do it with my mother.
What?
Oh, Mama was wonderful. She used to work with a brush in each hand.
A brush in each hand? Well, didn't your father object?
No, if she didn't do it, he'd have to.
Mary, dollface, what are you talking about?
Wallpapering the house.
Oh, wallpapering. Oh, of course. Good boy, Rochester. I'm going to do that later, Mary, but right now I'm trying to make a big decision.
What big decision?
Well, I just received this circular from an automobile company, and I've been thinking maybe I ought to trade in my car and buy a new one.
Well, it's about time. What are you going to get, a Chandler or an Essex?
Oh, don't be funny. I'm going to get a real... I'll take it. Hello?
Hello, Jackson. I'm calling from the country club. I thought maybe you'd come out and play some golf.
Well, I can't today. I'm going out and buy a new car.
Operator, you gave me the wrong number.
She did not. It's me. And I am going to buy a car.
Oh. What kind of a car are you going to get, Jackson?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking of getting a Cadillac.
Operator, why can't I get the right
number? I told you it's me.
Oh.
You asked me if I wanted to play golf, and I told you I couldn't.
Well, look, Jackson, I'm running a picture at my house tonight. Would you like to come over and see it?
Gee, I'd love to, but I can't. You see, last night I broke my glasses.
Oh, how'd you break them?
I fell off the runway.
Operator, I wish you'd give me the right...
You got it! Phil, it's me, Gypsy. Jackson. Phil, I'm sorry. Phil, I'm sorry I can't play golf with you. Why don't you call Remley?
I called Remley. He's right here now.
Oh, Frankie's with you, eh?
Yeah, he's sitting over there at the table drinking a glass of milk.
Operator! Somebody else is on...
No, Jackson. It's me.
Oh. Well, what's this about Frankie drinking milk?
Doctor's orders. Drinking too much bourbon.
Oh.
That caused a shortage of calcium in his system.
Uh-huh.
So the doctor made him drink milk.
So Frankie could get more calcium?
Yeah, that'll make his teeth stronger.
Why does he want to strengthen his teeth?
So he can pull the corks out of the bourbon bottle.
What?
You can't gum them things, you know.
I know. Anyway, I'm proud of Frankie drinking milk. Let me talk to him, will you, Phil?
Okay. Hey, Frankie. Frankie. He can't hear a thing since he got a shave last Saturday.
Phil, do you mean that...
So long, Gypsy. We got 8 holes to play.
All right, goodbye, Phil. I generally play 18 holes, but I guess Phil isn't as strong as I am. Mary, Phil wanted me to play golf with him, but I'm going out and look at some of those new cars. You want to go with me?
Oh, sure, Jack. But while you were on the phone, Don Wilson of the Sportsman came in. They're waiting for you in the library.
Oh. Hello, Don.
Hello, Jack.
Hiya, fellas. Well, Don, I know what you're here for, but make it quick, will you? Mary and I have to leave in a few minutes.
Okay. Now, Jack, we've got a wonderful arrangement of Mendelssohn's Spring Song. And as a surprise, we put in a special violin part for you.
Oh, Don, really, you shouldn't have done that.
Well, we can take it out.
Oh, no, I've got the violin right here, under my chin. Just give me the music.
Here you are.
Okay, now, all right, now just a second while I tune up here. Just 1 second, Don, I get it. Now, let's see, Mendelssohn's Spring Song. Oh, yes, I started, don't I?
Yeah, Jack.
All right, here we go, fellas. Mendelssohn's Spring Song.
Spring, a young man's fancy lightly turns to lucky stride. So round, so firm and fully packed, so easy on the draw. For lucky strike means fine tobacco, LSMFT. Oh, yes, you'll see that men who know tobacco best are happy to confess that Lucky Strike will always make you feel your level best. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, they're better than the rest. Oh, yes, you feel your level best. If you are low, if you are tense, then these 8 words make common sense. Smoke a
Jack.
Huh?
You can stop curtsying. The boys have gone.
Oh. Well, come on, Mary. Let's go downtown and look for a new car. Rochester, we're ready to go. Rochester, the traffic's pretty heavy. Take it easy, will you?
Jack, what kind of a car are you going to get?
I'm not sure, Mary. All the new models look so nice, and they have so many novel features. Like the Nash, for instance. I mean, the way the seats make up into twin beds. Maybe that's what I'll get. What are you laughing at?
You'll have the only car in the country that takes in boarders.
I wasn't thinking of that, Mary. I just thought that maybe...
Say, boss, how long have we been driving?
Exactly 14 minutes. You better start looking for a service station.
Yeah, no time to lose.
Jack, why do you have to hurry for a service station?
Well, you see, Mary, every time the car drives for 15 minutes, the water in the radiator boils over, and then it takes...
There goes Old Faithful!
Stop the car, Rochester. Well, I guess we'll just have to sit here for a few minutes until it cools off. That's about all.
Say, Emily, isn't that Jack Benny over there?
Where?
Over there in that Stanley steamer.
That isn't a Stanley steamer. It's a Maxwell that blew its top.
Then it is my dream man. Steady, girl, steady.
You really have a crush on him, haven't you?
Yes, and you know, Emily, I've got a confession to make. Last February, I sent Mr. Benny a Valentine card.
Did he get it?
He must have. I put it in my laundry bundle.
Oh, does he do your laundry?
Yes. When I think of him ironing my petticoats with his own little hands, I break out in goose pimples.
How romantic. What did you say on your Valentine card?
It was a beautiful poem. I wrote it myself. It went, Dear Jack, when I think of you this Valentine's Day, I can throw my vitamin pills away.
Well, I'll bet he didn't answer it.
He did, too. He said, Your lovely poem made me shake and shiver, and starting May 1st, we pick up and deliver.
Martha, open your eyes. I think they're going to drive off.
Rochester, the car should be cool enough now. Let's go.
Jack, the street we're coming to is Figueroa. That's Automobile Row.
Yeah. Turn right here, Rochester.
Yes, sir.
Gosh, look at all the automobile dealers on this street. Honest John, the Smiling Irishman, Madman Muntz, Psychiatric Sam, Wild Man Pritchard. Ah, here's the place we want. Just Plain Bill. Stop in front of this place, Rochester. Now, Rod, you can park down the street a little ways and wait for us. Come on, Mary.
Okay. Gosh, Jack, they certainly have some beautiful cars on display here.
Yes, I hope this doesn't take too long. I wouldn't want Rochester to get a ticket. He can't afford it. And besides, I have to...
Oh, here comes the salesman.
Where? Oh, yes. Oh, mister.
How do you do?
How do you do? I'm thinking of buying a new car.
Oh, good, good. Were you thinking of any particular type?
Well...
Would you like a hydromatic?
A hydromatic?
Yes, that car comes without a clutch.
Look, brother, when I pay for a new car, I want a clutch and everything. Say, this car here looks pretty good.
Yes, Jack, it's really a sporty-looking number.
Get inside and see how roomy it is.
Okay. It sure is comfortable. And say, what are these buttons?
Oh, yes. Those are for the windows. I'll show you how they work.
Gee.
Well, didn't you know the new cars had automatic window lifts?
He didn't even know they had windows.
Mary, please. What other new features do they have?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. This is the only car in the market that comes equipped with a Dynaflex superflowing unijet turbovasculator, which is synchronmeshed with a multi-coil hydrotension duo-vacuum dynamometer.
Gosh. What does that do for the car?
It empties the ashtray.
Well, that's quite a feature. Mary, do you think I ought to get this car?
Well, certainly. I wouldn't think of having a car that's not equipped with a Dynaflex superflowing unijet turbovascular, which is synchro-meshed with a multi-coil hydrotension duo vacuum dynamometer. Dynamometer.
Mary, you mispronounced the word with. Gee, the more I see of this car, the more I like it. But tell me, Mr.
Call me Plain Bill.
Well, look, Plain Bill. What are all these other buttons for?
Well, they're for the heater, the radio, the lights, and the top.
Uh-huh. But what's this red button for?
Oh, that red button is for emergencies.
Emergencies?
Yes, like if you stall the car on the railroad tracks and the train is coming at 100 miles an hour, you press the red button.
And that gets the car off the tracks?
No, it makes a reservation for you at Forest Lawn.
You know, Jack, this is one of the prettiest convertibles I've ever seen. Why don't you take it?
I think I will, Mary. Tell me, Plain Bill, what's the price of this car?
$4,200.
Say, mister, do the windshield wipers on this car squirt water when you press the button?
Yes.
Well, squirt some on him. He fainted.
I didn't faint, Mary. Just that $4,200 is a lot of money.
But don't forget, we do make liberal allowances on trade-ins.
Well, my car's right outside. Suppose you come along with us and appraise it.
Yes, well, I'd be very glad to.
Right this way.
Now, which one of these cars is yours?
Oh, it's parked down the street a little ways. There it is, right there.
You mean that blue Kaiser?
No, it's behind the Kaiser.
Oh, the gray DeSoto.
No, my car's between the Kaiser and the DeSoto. Here it is. Well, I'll admit it doesn't look like much right now, but a little paint and polish, and she'll be as good as new.
What did you get, boss? A convertible or a sedan?
Nothing yet. This gentleman is going to appraise ours.
Tell me, has this car been in an accident?
No.
Well, then how come it bulges so much in the rear?
Middle-aged spread.
Don't be silly. That's the way this car was built. And it has a lot of advantages that the new cars haven't got.
Yeah, if you like tea, it boils water every 15 minutes.
Oh, stop. This man is a good judge of cars. Now, Plain Bill, get in and I'll show you how it runs. Come on, Mary. Start the car, Rochester.
Yes.
The motor needs a little... Plain Bill, where are you going?
To get a whip and a chair. This thing is dangerous.
No, it'll be all right. Try it again, Rochester. See? I told you it'd be okay.
Do you want me to drive around the block, boss?
Just a second. If I am going to appraise this car, I had better drive.
No, I'll drive. You shovel the coal.
You better let him drive, Bill. He's more used to it.
Well, it's irregular, but okay.
See, I told you, it rides very smoothly, doesn't it?
Not bad.
Now, how much of a trade-in do you think you can give me on it?
Well, now let me see. There's a little rubber on the tires. The body needs a paint job. The upholstery isn't too bad. The motor runs. Look, would the deal include the car's radio?
Yes. Now, how much will you allow me on the car, including the radio?
$3.
$3?
You better grab it fast, Jack. The ride's made him dizzy.
I will. I wouldn't think of trading in this car for $3. It's perfect mechanically. They don't make cars like this today. Everything built to last for years and gives you excellent service. And all the way...
Plain Bill.
Yes?
Lemon or cream?
Lemon and mine, Mary. Mary! Now, Bill, all kidding aside, how much will you allow me on my car?
$3.
But this car...
There is no use arguing. This thing is without a doubt the oldest, worst, most beat-up piece of junk I have ever seen.
What? That settles it. Rochester, stop the car. Plain Bill, I'll thank you to get out. Rochester, open the door.
That won't be necessary. It fell off.
Well, goodbye to you, sir.
Goodbye.
Rochester, drive on.
Yes, sir.
This car's good enough. I can keep it for quite a while yet.
You know, boss, if you're not going to get a new car, why don't you have this one fixed up? Put some of those modern things on it.
Like what?
Like the Dynaflex Superflowing Unijet Turbo Vasculator, which is synchronized with the multi-coil hydrotension dual vacuum dynamometer.
No, then I'd have to go out and buy an ashtray. Step on it, Rochester. I want to go home.
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first...
Feeling low.
Feeling tense.
These 8 words are common sense.
Smoke a lucky to be your level best. Smoke a lucky to be your level best.
Yes, Lucky's fine tobacco picks you up when you're low, calms you down when you're tense, puts you on the right level to feel and do your level best. It's important to know that fine tobacco can do this for you. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Yes, LSMFT, LSMFT. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. It's not surprising that more independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen smoke Lucky Strike regularly than the next 2 leading brands combined. So when you choose your cigarette, remember, Lucky's fine tobacco picks you up when you're low, calms you down when you're tense, puts you on the right level, the Lucky level, where you feel your best and do your best. Yes, the next time you buy cigarettes, ask for a carton of Lucky Strike.
Smoke a lucky to be your level best. Smoke a lucky to be your level best.
Jack, you going to stop off at any other car dealers?
No, Mary, I've made up my mind. I'm going home. This car will just have to do until I get up.
Jack, what happened? Your hair is gone.
It's my fault, Miss Livingston. I never should have driven by match factors.
All right. Let him keep it.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day in a Day in the life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned for the Amos and Andy Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
J-E-L-L-O. The Jell-O program, brought to you by Jell-O and Jell-O Pudding, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. This opens the program with Captains of the Clouds.
Better than ever. Yes, today, friends, Jell-O is better than ever. Richer and more delicious than it's ever tasted before. because now Jell-O's grand flavor is locked in. It's locked right into Jell-O's tiny particles to give you extra delight and a new high in dessert enjoyment. That same Jell-O goodness is there that you've always loved. That same intriguing taste that always reminds you so delightfully of the juicy ripe fruit itself, but richer, more vivid than you've ever known it. For this new Jell-O process locks in the magic of Jell-O's marvelous flavor. Prove it for yourself. Open a package of Jell-O. Notice that there's no sweet, fruity odor, no telltale aroma to warn of escaping flavor. Then dissolve the Jell-O and notice how its tangy, tantalizing flavor comes gushing out. Deliciously rich, thrillingly good. So ask your grocer tomorrow for several packages of Jell-O. Now that Jell-O's swell flavor is actually locked in, it's better than ever.
Captains of the Clouds, played by the orchestra. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as is my custom every Sunday night at this time, I bring you a man who...
Hold it a second, Don. Jack isn't here yet.
He isn't?
No, he's been wandering around in a daze ever since last Thursday.
Why? What happened Thursday?
That's when they had the Academy Award banquet, and boy, was Jack disappointed.
You mean to say that Jack actually expected to win the award for Best Actor?
Yeah. He even sold that stuffed owl on his mantle so he'd have room for the statue. Imagine.
So he's still pretty upset about losing, huh?
I'll say he is. I was in the drugstore just now, and Mr. Benny was dunking donuts in his coffee.
Well, what's dunking got to do with being upset?
He was splashing people all around him. See this brown suit I got on?
Yeah?
Well, it was gray tweed when I went in.
Well, personally, I can see no excuse for Jack being so mad. You'd think that... Uh-oh. Quiet, fellas. Here he comes.
Well, hello, everybody. Sorry I'm late, Don.
Well, for heaven's sake, why so cheerful all of a sudden?
Why shouldn't I be cheerful? It's a lovely day, the sun is shining, birds are singing.
Are you sure that was coffee you were drinking?
I get it. So you had to tell him about the coffee I splashed on you, eh, Dennis?
Well, gee whiz, my suit is all wet.
Your suit will dry out.
It may dry out, but it will never be gray again.
All right, brown suits are coming back. Well, let's get started with the program, shall we, Donzie? Okay, Jack. But first, I'd like to say right now that you're a darn good loser. You mean about the Academy Award? Well, I will admit I was a little perturbed at first, but I've got it all figured out, Don. I didn't lose. I was merely an unfortunate victim of circumstance.
I don't get it.
Me neither.
Well, look, kid. The picture I should have gotten the award on is Charlie's aunt. Is that right?
Yes, but...
Let me finish, Mary. Now, if you remember, in Charlie's aunt, I played the part of a man, and I also played a part of a woman. And I was exceptionally good in both roles.
Well, for heaven's sake, what's that got to do with your not winning the Academy Award?
Simply this, the voters were baffled. They didn't know whether to elect me Best Actor or Best Actress. That's very logical. Then you're not jealous because Gary Cooper won. No, and I'm not jealous of Joan Fontaine either. But I must say that I had them both worried there for a while. They're very good friends of mine, too.
So you're not jealous of Cooper, eh?
Not a bit.
Tell him what happened at the banquet Thursday night.
Never mind. What was it, Mary?
Well, all evening, Jack kept smiling at everybody and bowing and pointing to the speech in his pocket.
Is that so?
Anyhow, when they announced that Gary Cooper was the winner, Jack jumped up and yelled, "Nobody leave the room. We're going to do this over."
Well, you know how excitable I am. Anyway, I was the first one to congratulate Gary Cooper. I went right over and put my arm around his shoulder.
You're telling me I had to boost you up.
I could have made it alone, sister. Anyhow, I'm glad he won. Gary and I are pals.
Pals? After that silly rumor you started about him?
What silly rumor?
He's much too tall to be a Jap, and you know it.
I never called him a Jap. I said he was a chap. A full-blooded chap. If I don't talk plain, that's his worry. Now, let me tell you another thing.
Holy smoke, get this.
What's the matter, Dennis?
I think my suit is shrinking.
You could be growing. Keep still. Forget it.
No, sir, my suit is shrinking.
So what? It's shrinking. Your sleeves were too long anyway.
I know, but my elbows are getting cold.
Dennis, what goes up has got to come down. Don't worry. Now, where was I?
We were discussing the Academy Award, Jack.
Oh, yes. Now, let's get this straight, fellas. I don't begrudge Gary Cooper getting recognition for Best Actor, but I still think I'm the most versatile. Jeepers, I can do anything. A man, a woman, do comedy, drama. I can play hokum. I can play Shakespeare.
You can sell Christmas cards.
That's seasonal. Now, take me as Hamlet. To be or not to be? That is the question.
Boy, this suit is cheap material.
Well, I can see I'm wasting my talent around here. Dennis, as long as you had to open your mouth, how about leaving it open and doing your song?
Okay.
Hold it a minute. Come in.
Telegram for Jack Benny.
Take it, Mary. Here's a tip for you, Bud. A brand new defense stamp. Here you are.
Thanks. Just paste it on my head.
Okay. There's an album if I ever saw one. Now, scram. Who's the wire from, Mary?
It's from your father. He says, my dear son, congratulations on the Academy Award. You didn't do it before, and you didn't do it again.
Good old Dad. He'd have voted for me. Sing, Dennis, before your suit strangles you, will you? Everything I Love, sung by Dennis Day. Everything I Love. There's a beautiful idea for a song.
Yeah, sure is.
Yes, sir. It's so sentimental. Everything I Love. What do you love, Dennis?
Apple pie and Hedy Lamarr. Ice cream on the pie.
All right, ice cream on it. That's a marvelous title, though. Everything I Love. You know, a song like that...
Tutti Frutti.
Forget the ice cream. I'm talking about sentiment. Oh, Don.
Yes, Jack?
Don, let me ask you something. What do you love?
Well, I love my little ranch out in the valley. Just a simple, unpretentious...
I know. What else do you love, Don?
Well, I love the little woman. Every morning when I come downstairs, she greets me with a cheery smile and a breakfast of piping hot wheat cakes.
Wheat cakes, eh? Don, what else do you love?
Well, let's see. Oh, yes.
It's about time.
I love my St. Bernard dog. Jumbo, we call
I don't
him.
care what you call him. Don, are you going to tell us the thing you love that made me start this whole business? Or do I have to lock you in?
Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I love Jell-O with its new locked-in flavor.
Bingo.
Jell-O is not only economical and easy to make, but it's America's favorite gelatin dessert. So look for the big red letters on the box. I thank you.
Well, certainly glad you finally thought of it, Don. And wait till the sponsor finds out that you love your wife and home before Jell-O. You better watch out, Bub.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'll never go home again.
Oh, you don't have to go that far, Don, but watch it, that's all. Oh, hello, Phil.
Hiya, Jackson. How's the old gent with the gray hair?
Oh, fine. I saw Frank Morgan at the fights the other night. And, he looks swell.
Phil means you.
I know who he means. I'll tell Frank you asked about him, Phil.
Okay, I can go along with the gag.
You better, brother. You know, Phil, when you...
Hey, get a load of the kid. Where'd you get them knee pants, Dennis?
I splashed coffee on him. It's a long story. Forget it.
Oh, say, Jackson, I hate to mention it, but that's a pretty tough break you got the other night.
What tough break?
You know, not winning the Academy Reward.
Reward? If you're talking about the award, Phil, in my opinion... Hey, what's that?
Well, there goes my coat button.
Dennis, don't worry about your suit. When you get home tonight, throw it away and I'll buy you another one. Phil, getting back to the Academy Reward, as you so quaintly put it, I am a little bit disappointed, but those things happen. I thought I had friends, but apparently they didn't vote for me.
You're right, Jackson. And there's an old French proverb that fits that to a T. It goes, "En histoire qui mal y pense."
Well, that proverb sounds familiar. What does it mean, Phil?
Evil to him who says you stink.
That's evil to him who evil thinks. No one said I Molly Ponce. They just didn't vote for me. That's all. Anyway, it didn't bother me. I can take it.
It didn't bother you, eh?
Not a bit.
Well, then why did you try to kill yourself Friday morning?
I tried to kill myself.
What happened, Mary?
Now, listen.
Jack went out in the garage, closed the doors, got in the Maxwell,
Oh.
put a rubber hose on the exhaust pipe, the other end in his mouth,
Mary.
turned on the ignition, stepped on the starter, the car was out of gas, and here he is.
Mary, that wasn't me in the garage, so don't make up things.
Well, Jack, I don't blame you for being broken-hearted. After all these years of hard work, you should have won that award.
Darn right I should. I'd have won it, too, if it hadn't been for a... Dennis.
Should I get a barrel, Mr. Benny?
No, pull him up. And I'll tell you something, Phil. I'd have won that award if it hadn't been for politics. I'm as good an actor as Gary Cooper any day.
What?
You're as good an actor as Gary Cooper.
Yes, only he's taller than I am. That's why Jimmy Stewart won it the year before. They're both taller than I am.
What about the time Spencer Tracy won it?
He's shorter than I am. Well, I'm 5'9".
So is Paul Muni.
Yes, and they gave him the award, brother.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. Oh, yeah? Oh, nuts, I'm going home.
Wow, that Jackson is really burned up, isn't he?
Yeah, he takes everything so seriously.
What does he want? Every year at this time, he puts that hose in his mouth. What a guy.
Well, Phil, I guess you might as well play something.
Okay.
I forgot my streetcar transfer. Oh, here it is. So long. understand it. How they could overlook me for the award after that magnificent... Oh, well. I don't mind Gary Cooper winning, but... Now, where's that Rochester?
Oh, hello, boss. Ain't you home kind of early?
Yes, I am. I'm a little upset, and I... Rochester, what have you got in that cocktail glass?
Some water. I was thirsty, boss.
Water? With an olive in it?
I was hungry, too.
Don't kid me. That's a dry martini. Rochester, is your girl here by any chance?
My girl? No, sir.
Well, was she here?
That ain't Ivy climbing over the back fence.
I thought so. Well, I'm not going to boil you out tonight. I'm too exhausted. I'm going upstairs to bed. I'm all in.
Oh, say, boss, the man from the exterminator company was here.
Oh. Did he find that mouse?
Yes, sir, and it sure was a big one. Put in an awful fight.
Oh. Well, where's the man now?
He went out to get another man.
Holy smoke, it must be a big one. I wonder if Frank Buck is in town. He could catch that mouse.
I'd catch it myself if you only let me put a piece of cheese in the trap.
No, there must be some other way. Sure be glad to get to bed. Here, hang this up, Rochester.
You need a new one, boss.
Just comb it out. It's okay. And don't part it in the middle like you did last night. Hand me my... Hey, what's that?
What?
There's someone under my bed. Who's that under my bed? Come on, you, speak up.
Good evening, Mr. Benny. Home a little early, I see.
Oh, it's Mr. Billingsley. Now, come out from under my bed, Mr. Billingsley. Come out.
All right, you asked for it.
Ask for what?
If I come out and see my shadow, there'll be 40 more days of winter.
Oh, my goodness, today's a groundhog. Now, Mr. Billingsley, you must go to your own room.
Very well. Good night, Mr. Benny.
Good night.
And what's wrong with that, may I ask?
Nothing. Good night, that's all. Gosh, he's so sensitive. I think I'll lie down and relax for a while, Rochester. The Academy Award has got me all worked up. Gary Cooper, a better actor than I am. That's justice for you.
Oh, say, boss.
Yeah?
I put gas in the Maxwell and the hose is still there. Do you want to have a go at it again tomorrow?
No. Next year, maybe. Rochester, take Mr. Coleman's hose back to him and thank him very much.
He don't know we got it.
Good. See, I hope I'll be able to sleep. Rochester, sing something, will you? That always lulls me.
Okay, boy.
Gee, I'm just a bundle of nerves tonight.
My mama done told me when I was in knee pants. My mama done told me, son.
Gary Cooper.
A woman will sweet talk and give you the big eye, but when the sweet talking's done...
Those tall guys get all the praise.
A woman's a two-faced, a worrisome thing who'll leave you to sing the blues in the night.
I think I'll get out of pictures. I didn't even get one vote. I know I sent it in. Oh, well.
From Natchez to Mobile, from Memphis to St. Joe.
St. Joe. How they used to love me there. And the food at the old Busy Bee lunchroom.
Wherever the four winds blow. A woman's a two-faced, a worrisome thing who'll leave you to sing the blues in the night.
ladies and gentlemen, this is the 12th Annual Academy Award Banquet, and all of Hollywood's glamorous stars are gathered here in the Busy Bee lunchroom in St. Joe, Missouri.
St. Joe. Gee, they love me here. I can't miss that award. I'm sure to win. Gosh, look at all those celebrities here. There's Wendell Willkie and Joan Fontaine and Ernst Lubitsch and the Exterminator Man. And look, there's Walter Wanger and Barbara Stanwyck and Mervyn LeRoy. Hey! Hello, Mervyn! Hello, Leroy! Gee, he knows me. Here's the old Busy Bee.
What do you have, sir?
A hot roast beef sandwich with tutti frutti ice cream on it. Hurry, Miss Lamar.
I can't hurry. I'm caught in a mousetrap.
Gee, you're a big one.
God. Ladies and gentlemen, the votes are all in for the Best Actor of the Year, and I'll have the results in just a second.
Gee, I'm nervous. Hey, there's Gary Cooper. He's got a pretty good chance of winning, too. Hello, Gary.
Hello, Jack. How do you like it here in Memphis?
Memphis? We're in St. Joe, aren't we?
You're in Memphis. I'm in St. Joe. You see, I'm taller than you are.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. Look, the master of ceremonies is getting up. It must be Bob Hope.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
That's not Hope, it's Allen. Fred Allen.
I'm very happy to be here in good old St. Joe. They love me here.
Listen to him. That Allen's a two-faced, a worrisome thing who leaves me to sing the blues in the night. I thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the votes have been counted, and I have the honor to announce that the Best Actor of the Year is that old gent with the gray hair, Frank Morgan.
No, Benny, me. Jack Benny.
Yes, Jack Benny. And here's that gold statue for you, Jackie.
Ouch. Thanks. How can I speak with this rubber hose in my mouth? But I'll try. To be or not to be? That is the question.
Here's your hot beef sandwich, mister.
Make it a steak. I just won the award. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to sever the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of... Who's that coming? Who are you guys? Who are you?
We're the Warner Brothers, shouting like the others. Benny, our mama does no love.
The Warner Brothers? And who are you?
I am Darryl Zanuck. Jack, you are a panic. Benny, my horsey done told me.
Gee, Mr. Zanuck, all the studios want me. All of them.
From Metro to Goldwyn, from Goldwyn to Mayor, from Mayor to Paramount.
Paramount? They love me there. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't tell you how happy I am to receive this award. It is the most thrilling night I've ever had. And the most exciting... What's the matter? The banquet's over. Everybody's gone but Gary Cooper and me. What are you crying for, Gary?
I had my heart set on winning that award.
It's not your fault, Gary. I won it because I'm taller than you are. Look, I'm 8 feet tall.
Not only that, you're still growing.
Still growing? That's right, I am. Look at me. I'm 9 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. Whoop, whoop, hold it. I'm tall enough, hold it. I'm going right through the roof. My head.
Boss, wake up!
Gary, where are you?
Boss, wake up! You've been dreaming.
Dreaming?
Yeah, you got your head right through the foot of the bed.
Oh, yes. Well, pull me out. Thanks. It was a tough dream, Rochester, but I won it.
Do you need me anymore, boy?
No. Good night, Rochester.
Good night. What a man.
Well, here's a treat that just can't be beat for real downright goodness, and one that's sure to become a family favorite the first time you try it.
The name of this grand dessert is cherry cubes with pineapple, a brilliant combination of golden canned pineapple and bright crimson cherry jello. It's a dessert that fairly coaxes you to pick up a spoon and begin because it's so good-looking. And it's nothing less than a masterpiece of delicious flavor. You'll like the simple, easy way you make it, too. Just dissolve a package of Jell-O imitation cherry flavor in 1 pint of hot water and hot pineapple juice. Turn into a loaf pan and chill until firm. Then cut into cubes and pile in sherbet glasses, along with 3 slices of canned pineapple diced. And there's a dessert that's really extra special. Juicy golden nuggets of canned pineapple, temptingly blended with tiny glistening cubes of rich red cherry Jell-O. So get a package of cherry Jell-O tomorrow, and when you buy, be sure to get genuine Jell-O. It's extra rich because its flavor is locked in.
The last number of the 22nd program in the current Jell-O series, and we'll be with you again next Sunday at the same time. And by then, I'm sure Jack will find something else to worry about. Good night, folks.
The parts of Fred Allen and Gary Cooper were interpreted by Peter Lind Hayes, appearing through courtesy of RKO Studios. The tune Captain of the Clouds is from the picture of the same name.
And now for the winner of the World Telegram Radio Editor Show, Jack Benny. Thank you.
Thank you, Lloyd. I didn't expect that. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking, and am I happy? Mary Livingston is in Miami, Florida, and I won't be annoyed this week. I just got back from my hometown where I celebrated my birthday. We had a grand party, and you should have seen the presents I gave my relatives for my birthday. Oh, they were just beautiful. Oh, we'll have to, Jack. Oh, why go into that? You know, a man is as old as he looks.
So you're 55, huh?
I get it. Well, Frank, I'm nowhere near that. I may look that old to you, but it's because I don't live right, that's all.
What do you mean you don't live right?
Well, I go to bed at 9 o'clock on weekdays, and I don't drink or smoke or go to nightclubs. I don't keep bad company.
Oh, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, well, you don't call that living right, do you?
Say, Jack, you know my grandfather took care of himself just like you're doing, and he lived to be 103.
What for? I don't go there.
I don't know, but the poor fellow's gone now.
Oh, that's too bad, Frank. How did it happen?
Well, when he was 98, he started running around, and it just got him, that's all.
Oh, well, some of those kids just won't listen. I know how it is. I brought up 2 grandfathers myself, and I just couldn't keep them out of the cotton garden. And I couldn't take the hidey-ho out of them, you know?
I do, Jack. But how about going ahead with the program and stop all this reminiscing?
Oh, all right, yeah. Say, Roy, did you hear any of the other programs tonight?
Yes, Jack, every one of them.
Well, I mean, were they anything like ours? I mean, did they say or do anything that we're going to do?
Not a thing, Jack.
Well, that's fine. Then I have nothing to worry about. You know, after all, we're on very late, and we have to be careful not to repeat jokes. Anyway, here's a brand new story I have for you folks tonight. A man got on a bus the other day.
Wait a minute.
And after riding...
Wait a minute. Eddie Cantor told that tonight.
Wait a minute. You mean the one about the man getting on the bus?
Yes.
Well, I don't need that one anyway. Here's another little story I picked up in Chicago the other day. An Irishman, a Scotsman, and an Italian were sitting in a tap room.
Hey, wait a minute. Is that the story where the Italian and the Irishman discover they have no money? And...
Yes, that's it.
For heaven's sake, Joe Penner told that on his program.
I see. Well, Lloyd, I'm glad we're not conflicting with anyone. I mean, it's good. Anyway, here's a joke that I know is new. I mean, you can't fool me under. Now, listen. A man who stuttered asked the boy where the post office was. And the boy said...
Wait a minute. So that's a new story, huh? Well, Freddie Allen told it last week.
The same joke?
Yes, in the same post office.
It's too bad our program doesn't go on at 6 a.m. Well, here's a joke I know that hasn't been used. I wrote it myself. Now, listen. There was a cross-eyed judge examining 3 fellows, see? And the cross-eyed judge...
Hello, everybody. Hello, Jack. When did you get back from Chicago?
Yesterday.
Why?
No. I mean, did you have a nice trip?
Yeah, now listen, Parker. There was a cross-eyed judge.
There always was.
Oh, yeah? And what program did you hear that?
Team cut.
Hello, everybody. Hiya, Frankie. Hello, you.
Oh, right on. What's this? Who are you?
Mary Livingston sent me over to take her place.
Oh, Mary Livingston sent you over. Well, this is a surprise. I mean, what do you do?
I'm fine. What do you do?
I didn't say not. I didn't say how do you do. I said what do you do?
Well, I sing, dance, wash dishes, mind babies, and I imitate God.
A versatile little girl. Are you related to Miss Livingston?
No, but my father is.
Oh, your father. What is he, an uncle or a cousin?
Janitor.
A janitor.
Yes. And have you got to go down at our house?
Oh, I'm sorry, miss. Really, we can't. I'm awfully sorry, but we can't use you.
But Miss Livingston paid me already. She gave me $50 to take her place.
Well, send her back a quarter and go home, yeah?
Nothing doing. I got paid for this, and I'm going to stay.
Now, listen, young lady, I don't like your looks, and I don't want anyone to take Mary's place. Now, go away and don't bother me.
Sure, I'll have dinner with you. What time?
Oh, yeah, I've had enough of you. Listen, if you had a brain, you'd be a half-wit.
I heard that on Burns and Allen's program.
Give me that club, will you? Come here, you.
Say, Frank, go ahead.
Brad Train, my dancing lady from Dancing Ladies. Well, the fan mail certainly piles up. Just think, folks, I've been away only a few days, and here are several thousand letters. Well, let's see how we're doing. After all, you can't go by the applause in the studio, you know. Here's a letter, from a lady in Sioux City, Iowa. It says, Dear you with the no-draft ventilation. I heard your program last Sunday in which you gave us Little Women, and I liked it very much. Please send me an autographed picture of Amos and Andy. Folks, it's letters like this that make you want to carry on, believe me. Here's a letter from a gentleman in Erie, Pennsylvania. It says, Mr. Jack Benny, dear sir, I have been listening to you for a long time. Now you listen to me. That play you gave us last week, yours truly, Leonard Pencil. The big punk, what does he know about radio anyway? Hey, Frank? Here's a letter from Miami, Florida. It says, Dear Mr. Benny, see if you can use this. In the land of golden sunshine down in Floridor, it is then that we all know winter's here no more. Dear old winter, dear old... Wait a minute, who's this from? Oh, Mary Livingston, I see. Well, I'll read one more. Here's a letter from Mr. Clifford Gordon of Chicago. It says, Dear Mr. Benny, although you do good plays and act them well, I'm afraid you're overlooking a great angle when you ignore mystery. Everybody loves a mystery, the suspense, the thrill, the continual chase. All right, Mr. Gordon, we get it. Anticipating your letter, we fortunately have been rehearsing a mystery play all week, and we will put it on tonight for your pleasure. It is called The Green Room Murder by S.S. Van East. And here is the mystery. A man was murdered on the Rue de la 8th Avenue and 45th Street near the Merlin Rouge Laundry. Now, who was this man? Where did he come from? Why was he murdered? And who done it?
Jack, you know your English is very bad.
Well, so is this play. I will play the part of the mastermind, the great detective. Yes, Adela, for the advertising. And now, while we are setting the stage, Frank Parker, our mysterious tenor, will sing You're in My Heart. Are you ready, Parker?
Yes, sir.
Then sing. That was Frank Parker singing for the first time over the air a number entitled You're in My Heart. And now for our mystery, The Green Room Murder. Murder. M-O-I-D-E-R.
The first thing is the home of Mr. and Mrs. Wu on the Rue de San Juan Juan.
On 8th Avenue and 45th Street. Curtains. Music, Frank. Good. Nobody leaves this room. A man has been murdered.
Well, this is an outrage. I couldn't do it.
I gotta go. I can't be implicated in this. Nobody leaves this room. I'll call headquarters. Operator. Get me police headquarters right away. Hello? Yes, it's police headquarters. Detective O'Benny, the mastermind speaking. Yes, O'Benny, the William Powell of the air. What's that? Never mind how long I've been a detective. What do you want? What? A murder in your home? What time did it happen? 8:15? And you're inviting me now when it's all over, eh? Could have given me a week's notice. Okay, I'll be right there. What is it, Chief? Murder at 934 Rue de la 8th Avenue. Well, let's get going. Wait a minute, Sarge. Calling all cars. Murder on the Rue de la 8th Avenue. Calling all cars.
And when you're calling for cars, ask for the Chevrolet, the most dependable car in the low-price field.
Calling the whole thing off. Come, Sergeant Hadrilla. We're going to a murder.
What do you think I ought to wear?
Just what you've got on. It's not a formal affair. Let's get going. Get in, Sarge. Let's go. Come on, Sarge. Step on it.
I'm going 80 now.
I mean, step on my cigar butt. I just dropped it. Pull up. Here comes the traffic cop.
Hey, you two mubs. Pull over your car.
When you arrive.
Oh, yeah? Well, I heard that on the Rudy Valley program.
For heaven's sake, can I get a new joke in somehow?
You know you fellas was going 80 miles an hour?
Well, everybody knows that's easy for the 1934 Chevrolet. Right, Sarge.
I've got a good mind to give you the ticket.
You know, there are two of us. We'd like to see the Ziegfeld Follies.
Wait a minute. Who are you, anyway?
Detective O'Benny, the mastermind.
And you?
Sergeant Padilla, the new Atchison House.
Oh, yeah? Well, look you over, boys. I'm Napoleon.
I heard that on Baron Munchausen's program. Well, so long.
Hey, wait a minute. Here's the stuff I heard on Will Rogers' program.
Step on it, Hadrilla. Hey, Sarge. How far is this going anyway?
Well, the road's up, Chief.
Well, let's turn on the radio. Hey, Frank. So now samples from our mystery must be in Spain somewhere. And now, on with our mystery. The Green Room Murder. I think this is the place, Sarge.
Okay, Chief.
That's the house, 934.
But this is 10th Avenue.
What's the difference? We have no time to lose. Let's get going.
Come in.
Is this the house where the murder was committed?
Yes. Are you detective?
Are we detectives? We got our hats on, haven't we?
We're from headquarters. What happened here tonight?
A man was shot in the green room.
Where's the green room?
What?
Any other place?
No, just in the green room.
Oh, just in the green. Where is it?
One slide up. Don't go in the blue room. They're having a party in there.
You know who fired the gun?
No, but the boss fired the cook, and I expect to be fired in the morning.
Now we're getting someplace. Make a note of that, Sarge.
Okay, Chief.
Come on, young lady. We'll need you.
Let's go upstairs.
Wait a minute. I guess this is it. Open that door. Open that door, I say. Oh, you won't do it, eh? Well, then we'll break it in. Come on, Sarge. Give it the work. Come on out, all of you.
That's the bathroom.
Oh, pardon. Why don't you tell us that was the bathroom?
You're the mastermind, not me.
Now, a fresh game, eh? Now, where is it?
It's that room over there.
Come on, Sarge, and don't lose sight of the maid. Now, wait a minute, everybody. Nobody leave this room.
Yeah, who are you?
Detective O'Benny, the mastermind. Sarge, you watch the door and see that nobody leaves.
Okay, Chief.
And guard that rat hole.
Oh, you don't want to get away either.
Quiet. Did anybody know the dead man?
I did. He was a friend of mine.
Yeah, who are you?
Well, this is my apartment. He was playing bridge here tonight.
Now, how many you were playing?
Well, there were 9 of us. You see, we were all sitting at the table.
Now, wait a minute. 9 playing bridge? You sure it wasn't baseball?
No, we have no umpire.
Oh, you have no umpire, eh? Well, how could 9 of you be playing bridge at one table?
6 of us were dummies.
Now we're getting someplace. Make a note of that, Sarge.
Okay, Chief.
Where were you when the shot was fired?
Sitting right here, with a gun in my hand.
Oh, I know you didn't do it. Did you have anything else in your hand besides the gun?
No.
All right, you're dismissed. Let him go, Sarge.
Okay, Chief.
Now, you, miss. What do you know about this murder?
Well, I did once say...
Yes. Go on.
Then the bidding went round and round and round and round. And the murdered man got the bid for his no crumb.
I see. And then what happened?
Well, everything was fine until he let his stick face. And then he was killed.
Oh, somebody killed him just because he was lucky and had 5 aces, eh? Did you know the dead man?
Yes, he was the best friend I had in the whole world.
Oh, Chief, look. There's a man from the dead man's back.
Oh.
Never mind the petty things. I want to know who shot him.
Get me back that knife. It's mine.
Here you are, miss. Sorry we detained you. Let her go, Sarge.
Okay, Chief.
Thank you.
Be careful how you leave that knife laying around, miss. You might lose it.
I'll go feather your neck.
Make a note of that, Sarge. Feather your neck.
Okay, Chief.
Now, you in that full-dress suit. What's your name?
Frank Black.
Frank Black, eh? What do you do for a living?
I'm an orchestra leader.
Oh, you do nothing, eh? I get it. Now, listen, did you know the deceased?
Certainly. We roomed together. He was the best pal I ever had.
Boy, was he popular. What time did you get here tonight?
It was 8:15.
Yeah, how do you know it was 8:15?
Well, I heard Eddie Tanner kidding Rubinoff.
Now we're getting someplace. What is Rubinoff doing?
He was playing Mendelssohn's Wedding March.
Oh, yeah? Sarge, get Mendelssohn on the phone.
Okay, Chief. Oh. Hello, Mendel. I want to speak to your son. Hello. Is this Mendelssohn? Yes. Oh, you did? Okay, goodbye.
What do you say, Sarge?
He says he heard that on Phil Baker's program.
Now we're getting someplace. Who that is? Supposed to be a knock on the door. That's it.
Hello, Detective O'Benny.
Telegram, give it to me. Miami, Florida. Ask Mendelssohn if he knows the one about the ghost. Signed Mary Livingston.
Any answer, sir?
No.
Hey, the telegram is correct. 76 cents.
Let him out, Sarge.
Okay, Chief.
Now, where were we? Oh, yes. Now you, Frank Black.
What do you want? Say, Chief, look. There's a rope around the dead man's neck.
Oh, yeah? Hey, Black, you know anything about this rope?
Sure, it's mine. Give it to me. I want to tie up some music.
Give him the rope, Sarge. All right, you can go, Black. I'm sorry this murder happened inside of your rope.
Thanks.
We'll solve this mystery yet. Now I want to speak to the maid again.
Yes, sir.
Now listen here, young lady. I want to ask you a few questions. Where were you? Now listen here, young lady. I want to ask you a few questions. Where were you when the shot was fired?
I was in the kitchen making up the bed.
What?
I was in the bed making up the kitchen.
You know any of the people here tonight?
Sure, these 2 girls here are friends of mine.
What 2 girls?
The nurse and the cook.
Yes. Make it out of that, Sarge. Okay. So you girls were in tailgaters together, were you?
Sure.
Well, what did you do? So that's what killed him. Lock him up, Sarge. Okay, please. Play, Frank. 20th program on the 18th of February. Well, folks, here's a telegram for you, Mr. Benny. Telegram, hurrah, boys. From Mary Livingston. She says, just heard your program. I better be back with you next Sunday night. Good night, folks.
This program has come to you with the compliments of the Chevrolet Motor Company.
Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Army Air Base at Gardner Field near Taft, California, we bring you our master of ceremonies, the one and only...
Oh, no, you don't, Bud. No, you don't. You ain't pushing just anybody off on us.
What are you talking about, soldier?
What am I talking about? You tell him, Sarge. Go ahead, tell him.
Okay. Look, Fatso. We can't do anything about what time they make us go to bed or what time they make us get up. But week after week, they blow a bugle, line us up, march us into this hall to listen to what they call entertainment, and we're sick of it.
Now, wait a minute, fellas. You keep out of this, Bob. Yes, sir.
Now, as I was saying, Fatso, the fellas here appointed us as a committee to sort of pass on the entertainment, see? Yeah. In that way, why, we protect our boys from stepping into those civilian booby traps.
Booby traps?
So listen, Chubby. You tell us who you're going to bring out here, and we'll tell you if it's okay.
Well, all right, if you must know, it's none other than Jack Benny.
Jack Benny, huh? What do you think, Sarge? I don't know. What do you think? Well, it's either him or spending a half hour in Taft. Oh, let's give him a break. Maybe he brought some dames with him. Okay, brother. You can bring on your star.
Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the Army Air Base at Gardner Field near Taft, California, we bring you the one and only Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And Don, isn't it nice being out here at Gardner Field, situated on the shores of beautiful Lake Buena Vista? Imagine being stationed in a place where you can go trout fishing, swimming, and diving.
Oh, hubba, hubba, hubba.
What do you mean, hubba, hubba, hubba? What was wrong with that joke?
What was wrong with it? That joke wilted the flowers on Colonel Bechtel's desk.
Oh, stop being so silly, a joke wilting flowers. That's impossible. I don't mind you guys standing around, but don't make up a
Hello, Jack.
Oh, hello, Mary. How are you? I'm glad you got here, Mary. Now maybe we can get on with the show.
Yeah, but you know, Jack, the strangest thing happened just now.
Really? What was it?
As I walked in here, the flowers in my hair wilted.
That I can't understand at all. Anyway, Mary, how do you like being up here at Gardner Field?
Oh, swell. But yesterday when we got here, one of the soldiers rushed me over to see Lake Buena Vista. Some excitement.
Well, they're proud of Buena Vista, Mary. That's a beautiful lake.
Go on. I've seen more water at W.C. O'Seal's party.
Oh, stop exaggerating.
It's the only lake where a girl can go out for a boat ride and walk back.
Mary, it isn't that shallow.
Then how come the fish are sunburned on one side?
Mary, please, isn't there anything else you can talk about?
Oh, sure. You know, Jack, last night I was out with a soldier.
Look, you hear about the girl going out with a soldier, so let's not have any of that on our show.
But, Jack, last night I was out with a soldier.
Mary, I don't want you to...
Let her talk. Let her talk.
Thanks, fellas. Now, as I was saying, Jack, last night I was out with a soldier, and just because I wouldn't give him a kiss, he said he was going to end it all. And then he laid down on the railroad track.
Oh, well, don't worry about it, Mary. I've heard about the train service around here.
But, Jack, that soldier.
Mary, don't worry about him. By the time a train gets here, the war will be over. He'll be a civilian. And when he's paying for his own clothes again, he ain't going to lie down on any dirty old railroad track. So let's forget about it and get on with the show. Come in.
Mr. Penny?
Yes?
On behalf of the United States Army Air Force stationed at Gardner Field, I wish to present you with these wings.
Wings?
Yes. I'm sorry the rest of the chicken got away.
Oh, well, I can always use them for soup.
Hiya, Jackson. Okay, fellas, start beating them chow combs together. Harris is here.
Oh, brother.
Thanks, you pretty things. You know something? You guys really know talent when you see
Phil,
it.
keep quiet.
But these guys really know talent when they...
Phil, will you...
Let him talk. Let him talk.
I don't mind letting him talk, but he doesn't have to be so hammy about it.
Hammy, you're the one that gets all the receptions. Look what happened yesterday when we got off of the bus. Who took the bows? You did. I didn't get no welcome.
What are you talking about? When we got here and I signed all those autographs, I sent every one of those soldiers over to get your autograph, too.
You did that just to show off. You know I can't write.
Well, Phil, I really forgot that you couldn't write. I didn't mean to embarrass you.
You didn't, huh? Then why did you hide my rubber stamp?
Because you were messing up the whole bus with it, that's why. Just like a kid.
And another thing, Jackson, I know the trick you played on me last year.
What trick?
Well, you switched rubber stamps on me, and for 3 weeks I was signing my name, Fragile This End Up. What? Mary told me.
Well, Phil, anybody who doesn't know how to spell his own name ought to be ashamed of himself. Phil, do me a favor and play something, will ya? And now, fellas, come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
Did some silly guy come in here a while ago and present you with a pair of chicken wings?
Yes, but I threw them away.
Oh. Well, would you mind telling me where you threw them?
Why? Are you hungry?
No, I'm the chicken.
What? That's what happens to a guy when he eats too much of those powdered eggs. Play, Phil, will you? That was It Had to Be You, played by Phil Harris and his Buena Vista Beachhead Commando. Say, Phil, I thought you were supposed to sing in that number.
Look, Jackson, I ain't singing no song. I got enough to do rehearsing the band, getting those big laughs, and driving the bus. Anyway, when are you going to hire a singer for this show?
Well, Phil, I tried to get a singer last week.
Oh, sure. You tried. Why don't you tell him what happened Thursday night?
Mary.
Go ahead, Jack. Tell him how you tried to get John Charles Thomas.
Mary, please.
Well, if you won't tell him, I will. Listen, fellas, it was Thursday night.
Mary, I don't want you to...
Let her talk. Let her talk.
Thanks, fellas. Well, anyway, it was Thursday night, and Jack had invited me over to his house for dinner. There were just the two of us, and we were finishing eating when all of... Gosh, Jack, it was nice of you to invite me over for dinner.
Oh, that's all right, Mary. Here, will you have some mustard?
Yes, thanks.
Ketchup?
Yes, thank you.
Horseradish?
Uh-huh.
Here you are.
What a dinner. Mustard, ketchup, and horseradish.
Don't worry, Mary. The surprise is in this casserole. Look.
Gee, cold cuts.
Yep. Yes, sirree, cold cut.
One cut for you and one cut for me.
Yep. Would you like your coffee now, Mary?
Uh-huh.
Good. I'll ring for Rochester.
Jack, don't you think it's about time you bought a regular dinner bell?
Yes, Mary, but it's hard to get what you want these days on account of shortages. This makes a fine dinner bell.
But, Jack, it doesn't look nice hitting an empty garbage pail with an old turkey bone.
You can't hit it with a cold cut. Anyway, no one notices it.
Mr. Benny, did you ring for me, or did you just throw something in the garbage can?
I rang for you, Rochester.
Rochester, bring Miss Livingston her coffee, and I'll have a cup of tea.
Sorry, boss, you'll have to take coffee, too.
Why?
The tea bags haven't come back from the laundry yet.
Oh, darn it, I wanted tea.
No, boss, I'll fix you the coffee so you'll like it. I'll add some brandy to it. I've got my own special recipe.
Has it got a kick to it, Rochester?
Oh, kick to it? Boss, do you know how coffee is good to the last drop?
Uh-huh.
Well, when I add just the right amount of brandy to it, the last drop picks up the cup and hits you over the head with it.
Rochester.
One drink of my coffee and you sit around all night, percolating.
Never mind. Just bring us some plain coffee.
Yes, sir. Miss Livingston, would you like some dessert?
Yes, I think I would. What have you got?
Well, there's ice cream, rice pudding, custard, and chocolate pie.
Gee, they all sound good. What would you suggest, Rochester?
The custard is the best buy.
The best buy?
Rochester, I'm not charging Miss Livingston for the dinner. Now bring some coffee and custard.
Yes, sir.
Say, Jack, it's getting close to Sunday. What are you going to do about a singer for your program?
Well, Mary, I haven't given up hopes of getting Sinatra yet.
Oh, I think you ought to forget about Sinatra. He has too much radio work already. He's on the hit parade, and besides that, he's got another show of his own.
Oh, yes, one-man famine. You know, Mary, one of my writers gave me that gag for last week's show, but I'd never used anything that corny, you know.
Yes, I know.
Anyway, I'm not going to worry about him. I'll find a singer. Say, Mary, do you want to hear some good music? I bought a new record for my phonograph.
It's about time. I'm getting tired of the Sheik of Araby.
I don't know, Mary. It's a pretty good number to dance to. Anyway, wait till you hear this new one. I'll wind up the phonograph. Oh, darn it, the horn keeps falling off. There, it's fixed now. Here's a new record, Mary. Which side do you want to hear first?
How do I know? What songs are on it?
Well, on one side of the record is John Charles Thomas singing When My Boy Comes Home. And on the other side is Spike Jones playing I Kissed the Butcher's Daughter Till Her Old Man Put Up a Beef.
Well, I'd rather hear John Charles Thomas.
Okay, John Charles Thomas it'll be. Listen.
Said Mrs. McGinn to Mrs. O'Flynn, someday when the war is won, won't it be grand when the soldiers land and you go to meet your son? When he marches through and you hear the people cheer, what do you do when he smiles at you as your boy draws near? What'll I do when my boy comes home? What'll I do, you say? I'll tell the police if they're keeping the peace, they'd better keep out of my way. For when my boy comes into view, I'll fight my way till they let me through. And I lift him up, though he's 62, into my arms as I used to do, and I'll carry him home. If he wants me to, when my boy comes home.
Wasn't that wonderful? What a voice. What volume.
Jack, what an idea. Why not get John Charles Thomas for your singer? Think of the dignity it would lend the program.
Say, Mary, that would be terrific. Let's go over and see him right now. Oh, Rochester, get the car. We're going out.
But, boss, I expected to have the night off. We're having a big New Year's party.
A New Year's party? New Year's isn't for months yet.
I know, but tonight is basic training.
Never mind. Get the car and drive us over to Mr. Thomas's house.
Okay. All right.
Look out for that cab, Rochester. Not so fast. Don't turn the corners so close. Look out for that man. Easy, you'll hit that Pontiac. The light's turning red on the corner. Put your hand out if you're going to turn. Watch out for that safety zone.
Doggone, this is the only automobile in town with a co-pilot.
Rochester,
You take over the controls, boss. I'll radio ahead for landing instructions.
Rochester, will you? Hey, Mary. Mary, look, there's Fred Allen. Hello, Fred.
Jack, that isn't Fred Allen. That's a soldier wearing a gas mask.
Oh, gosh, I was just going to tell him how good he looked. Hey, slow down, Rochester. There's where John Charles Thomas lived. That house on the corner. Rochester, you wait here. Come on, Mary.
Yes?
I'd like to speak to Mr. John Charles Thomas.
Who shall I say is calling?
Mr. Jack Jerk Benny.
Mary, please. Just tell him it's Jerk Benny. Jack Benny.
Yes, sir. Come right in. Mr. Thomas is in the next room.
Hey, listen to that, Mary. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, and he's only gargling.
Must be a pleasure to hear him brush his teeth. Will you tell him I'm here?
Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Thomas, Jack Benny is here to see you.
Well, I'll come right out. Hello, Jack. Hello, Mary. To what do I owe this pleasant surprise?
Well, Mr. Thomas, getting right to the point, I'm looking for someone to sing on my radio program, and I thought someone as famous as you would be perfect for it.
Jack, you compliment me.
Oh, I mean it. I think your voice would lend dignity and prestige to my shows.
Jack, you flatter me.
And I'm here to make you a financial offer.
Here comes the insult.
Mary, please. Now, the fact is, Charles.
Charles?
That's your middle name.
Oh, yes.
Look, Mr. Thomas, I won't mince words. You see, Dennis Day worked for me, and after 5 years, I paid him $35 a week.
I see.
But naturally, I wouldn't expect an opera singer like you to work for that kind of money.
Naturally.
So instead of offering you $35, I'm willing to stretch it just a little bit and give you...
Pardon me for interrupting, Mr. Thomas.
Yes, Martin?
I'm leaving now for my night off.
Oh, yes. And, Martin, before you go, I'll give you your weekly salary.
Thank you, sir.
Here you are. 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100. There you are, Martin.
Thank you, sir.
Now, what was it you were saying, Mr. Benny?
Well.
On second thought, Mr. Thomas, I have a feeling that you and I can't get together.
You couldn't even get together with his butler.
Well, Mr. Thomas, I think I'd better go. I'm sorry I took up so much of your time.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. I think I understand your predicament. You're stuck for a singer.
Yes, sir.
Well, I couldn't possibly take the job, but in order to help you out, I'll be very happy to come over and sing on one program.
You will? One program? Did you hear that, Mary? Gee, that's swell, Mr. Thomas.
What would you like me to sing?
Oh, anything. Doesn't make any difference what you sing. Your voice is enough.
And since you're accustomed to paying $35, I may as well take the money.
Oh.
Is that all right with you?
Well, I don't know, brother. What are you going to sing? Come on, tell me, what are you going to sing?
Well, I don't know, Jack. I don't have a very large repertoire.
What? What was that you said?
I said I don't have a very large repertoire.
Well, brother, from where I'm standing, you have the... I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Now, look...
Kentucky shore, there I've whiled many happy hours away. Sitting and singing by the little cottage door, where lived my darling Nellie Gray. Oh, my poor Nellie Gray, they have taken you away, and I'll never see my darling anymore. I'm sitting by the river, and I'm weeping all the day, for you've gone from the old Kentucky shore. When the moon had climbed the mountain and the stars were shining too, then I'd take my darling Nellie Gray, and we'd float down the river in my little red canoe, while my banjo sweetly I would play. Oh, my poor Nellie Gray, they have taken you away, and I'll never see my darling anymore. I'm sitting by the river, and I'm weeping all the day, for you've gone from the old Kentucky shore. My eyes are getting blinded, and I cannot see my way. Oh, there's somebody knocking at the door. Oh, I hear the angels calling, and I see my Nellie Gray. Farewell to the old Kentucky shore. Oh, my darling Nellie Gray, up in heaven there they say that they'll never take you from me anymore. I'm a-coming, as the angels clear the way. Farewell to the old Kentucky
it's time to say so long to Jack, Mary, Phil, Rochester, and their guests. The Benny Gang will be beaming your way again next week, same time, same station. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
The Mutual Broadcasting System, in cooperation with Family Theater Incorporated, presents Strictly Amateurs, starring Jimmy Durante and Dennis Day.
More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of.
Now, Family Theater presents Strictly Amateur, starring Dennis Day and
Just
Jimmy...
a minute, Junior. Everybody wants to get into the act. Here's the thing, folks. I'm walking around Hollywood, minding my own business, just commuting with nature. And I'm telling myself I'm a busy guy, and what happens? I hear about this Family Theater. There's a lot of people talking about it, so I says it's time interesting inquiries were made as to what it's all about. So that's the way it happens. When I find out they got something to sell, then I'm on my way out. Because I'm not in a buying mood until I hear they have something to sell that's free, for nothing, and gratuitous. The inquiries are more interesting. I hear that something is for free that's valuable and priceless, because it's about happy families and a lot of happy homes. So I say this is for me, because that's what it should be. A lot of happy people and happy homes. Because this is going to be stupendous and colossal. Now get the picture. You sit down, you turn on the radio, you listen for 10 minutes. The suspense is terrible. You're on the edge of your chair. You listen for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 29 minutes, and what happens? The guy finally says to the girl, I love you. The girl finally says to the guy, I love you too. It takes them 29 minutes on a network to come to the point. But not with me. My stories are different. I commence where the other guy concludes. For example, when Madeline McGroggerty was 19, she falls in love with a fellow by the name of Tommy Keneally. Madeline says to Tommy, to wit,
I love you, Tommy.
To which Tommy rejoins,
And I love you too, Madeline.
See what I mean? Bang! Right off the bat, we know where we stand. The guy loves the girl and vice versa. So what happens next? Let's say it with flowers and music. You guessed it, they were married. It was a real wedding ceremony. And the old pastor tells Tommy and Madeline something like this. May you have children as numerous as the sands of the sea. And may you live to see your children's children to the second, third, and fourth generations. Which is a very nice sentiment. Because I myself personally believe in kids. To resume the course of my remarks, I shall herewith continue. Tommy Keneally is a nice guy. He's a songwriter and also a singer. He says to his wife, Madeline, one day,
If I could sell some of my songs, we'd have enough money to get a house on Long Island.
To which Madeline retorts,
Well, go ahead, Tommy. Try and sell them. But in the meantime, why don't you keep trying for the cops?
So Tommy keeps trying for the cops and writes songs in between. Among some of the gems which he wrote was Gitchery Gummity Stump, Serenade to a Slap-Happy Sultan, The Slooch, and If Thou Was But a Lily Pad, and I Was a Gay Moonbeam. May I add that none of these lyrics, collectively or exclusively, were ever sold or published? Why? Because those are the conditions which prevail. Nonetheless, Tommy and Madeline were happy. For example, on a winter's night, this is how they talk. To wit,
Tommy, isn't it nice to sit here in the kitchen and listen to the coal singing in the stove?
Yeah, that's about the nicest coal we ever got.
It sputters and whistles so sweetly, Tommy.
It should sputter and whistle. $14 a ton, Madeline.
See what I mean, folks? Just simple talk. Coal in the stove. They were tickled with it. Also concerning sunsets, which take place over the Palisades, they had this to say, to wit.
I'm wild about sunsets, Tommy. All full of pink and red and clouds that just ooze with purple, greenish gold.
It's the dust particles in the air that does it, Madeline. I read it in a book.
But don't you just love sunsets, Tommy?
Yeah, they're okay. Sunsets have that certain something about them that only sunsets have.
That's exactly how I feel, too, Tommy.
You see, folks, they lived a simple life. And need I add at this point that they were very, very happy, exceedingly happy? To advance my remarks, Tommy says to Madeline one day,
"Oh, I'm washed up. I can't get to first base."
What's the matter, Tommy?
Nobody's interested in my lyrics.
But why? You write the nicest lyrics, Tommy. I thought the last one was the best thing you ever...
You mean the one about the Higgly Wiggly Walrus?
Yes, that was the sweetest lyric you ever wrote. Especially the line that goes, "Bazunga, bazango, the jellyfish like to tango at the Higgly Wiggly Walrus Ball." Oh, it's simply beautiful, Tommy.
Oh, they give you the same old story. Brzezinski says they want something original, something peppy.
Oh, I see. Well, Tommy, I have a surprise for you. In fact, 2 surprises.
Yeah?
First of all, I wrote a lyric myself.
You wrote a lyric?
It took me 7.5 hours. Here, read it. If you write the music for it, Tommy, maybe Mr. Brzezinski will buy it.
Say, what's this first word you got written here?
The word is thanks.
Oh, let's see now. Thanks be to God for a house that is warm. For trundle beds that... Madeline, why did you go and write stuff like this for?
Well, you see... Oh, you'll never guess what, Tommy.
What?
I went to the doctor today and he said, yes, definitely.
You mean?
We're going to have a baby.
Wow!
And when I came back to the house, I was so happy. I just sat in the chair and cried. And, well, the house seemed so beautiful. I mean, the walls and windows and outside the windows and everything. And, well, the words of the song just came to me, Tommy.
The above is a very nice little interlude. I personally like to see people happy. Well, time moves on, and Madeline has a baby who they call James Ambrose, on account of because they happen to like the name. And now, having 3 mouths to feed, Tommy forgets his songwriting for a while and gets himself a job with the Bubble Gum Company. You know, the guys which go around putting gum into slot machines? Well, that's our boy Tommy. And when he ain't working, he's spending most of his time leaning over James Ambrose, going...
A-goo, a-boo, a-moo, hoochie-coochie-coochie-coochie-coochie.
Don't laugh, folks. Your old man must likely done the same with you. Well, to advance my story, one day Madeline says to Tommy...
Tommy, did you ever write music for that lyric I gave you?
Honey, I told you before, it's very nice and all that, but it's just not commercial. It's like a hymn, and you can't sell hymns to Tin Pan Alley.
I bet Mr. Brzezinski would buy it if he saw the words.
I couldn't take a lyric like that to Brzezinski. He'd laugh at me.
Oh, come on, Tommy, let's go down and see him.
No, Madeline, I can't.
Just for me, Tommy?
I said no, and that's final.
So they went down to see Mr. Brzezinski.
Hearts are warmer still. Thanks be to God for the song. I'm afraid this would never go, no.
But, Mr. Brzezinski, if Tommy wrote the music and sang it, he has a wonderful voice, Mr. Brzezinski.
I appreciate your bringing it to me, Mrs. Keneally, but it just ain't... it ain't...
commercial.
Sure, like Tommy said, it just ain't commercial. Now, if I was you, Keneally, I'd really smarten up.
Why, what do you mean?
You want my advice? I think you ought to forget songwriting and singing and start a one-man agency around your wife.
My wife?
Sure, Hollywood's been looking for a face like that for years. I mean it, on the level. Mrs. Keneally, if you can read a single line of script, I'd be willing to guarantee that inside 6 months...
Well, it's like I personally say, truth is stranger than friction. And this is where I come to the picture myself. You see, I'm one of the gods out here in Interstellar Pictures Incorporated. I interview personally anybody who wants to tour the studios. So, to continue, one bright day I see walking up to me a girl and a fella with a little kid in his arms. They come walking towards me. The girl says...
Who do you have to see to get into pictures?
To which I seriously respond, Lady, are you kidding? To which she rejoins...
No.
Sister, listen, if you'll take my advice, you'll grab the first train out of here. Hollywood is no place for you. It's bulging at the seams, as it is, with too many people who want to get into the act.
I can give it a try, can't I?
Well, that's how I first came to know Madeline. So out of the abundance of my heart, and may I add that my heart is full of abundance, I wrote on the card the name of a personal friend of mine who I happen to know.
Oh, thank you so much.
Think nothing of it. Go see this guy and tell him Giblin sent you.
Mr. Edgar Glunt?
That's right. Edgar happens to know a guy who is intimately connected with a friend of a fella who knows the brother-in-law of the electrician's uncle.
Oh.
And don't forget, tell him Giblin sent you. So what happens next? You'd be surprised at what happens next. Listen.
We've been out here 8 months, Madeline, and I'm getting fed up with it.
But I've been in 4 pictures already, Tommy.
Sure, but why do they keep putting you in pictures with gorillas?
My last picture wasn't with a gorilla. We had tigers.
Well, anyway, they're mixing you up with too many animals. It's not that I have anything against tigers, Madeline, or gorillas either, but they never give you the leading part. Do you ever shoot a gorilla? Do you ever kill a tiger? No.
But I've got to work my way up, Tommy. And don't forget, in my last picture, I was in it for 6 minutes.
Yeah, 6 minutes. The tiger had to mangle somebody.
But it was dramatic, Tommy. When that tiger mangled me, that was the climax.
Oh, Madeline. I don't know. It's...
What's the matter?
Well, I'm not jealous, Madeline, but I do think you're on the go too much.
Well, I've got to keep appointments. My agent insists.
I know all about your agent, but you're married to me and not him. Sometimes I wish I was back in the Bronx with nothing to worry about except putting bubble gum in slot machines.
Give me 6 more months, Tommy. We'll settle down then.
And another thing, Madeline. Now, don't get mad.
I won't.
Well, don't keep going to dinner with that big shot.
You mean Mr. Hudson?
Whatever his name is.
Why, that's nothing but publicity. Mr. Hudson has a lot of influence, Tommy. He's going to introduce me to Walter Morgan, one of the biggest producers in Hollywood.
All right, maybe he is. But you don't have to go to the Hudge and Fudge with him so often.
The Hudge and Fudge is a very pleasant restaurant, Tommy. And besides, Mr. Hudson won't eat spinach anywhere else. The olive oil at the Hudge and Fudge
Okay. Where are you going now?
It's another one of those dinner dates. Don't bother waiting up, Tommy.
Now, Madeline!
Oh, I forgot to tell you I'm dining with the Friendly Daughters of Azusa.
Oh, the Friendly Daughters of...
You were going to say something?
Oh, no, yes. Well, good night, Madeline. Have a nice spinach salad. Have a nice tea with the Friendly Daughters.
It's a dinner, Tommy.
Good. Swell. Eat up, Madeline. Eat up.
So lo and behold, what do you think happens consequentially? You'll be surprised at what happens consequentially. Listen.
The newspaper carried another article about you and Mr. Hudson.
Tommy, why do you keep talking about Mr. Hudson?
Why do you keep going out with him?
Maybe it's because I want to. Now are you satisfied?
I see. And in the meantime, what am I supposed to do? Sit up with little James Ambrose every night while you and Mr. Hudson eat spinach?
That also might not be a bad idea.
Madeline, you're beginning to get me exasperated.
I don't know why you're making all this fuss. I'm only trying to get a contract.
Sure, and if you eat enough spinach with Mr. Hudson, he'll introduce you to Mr. Walter Morgan, and then
well, what's wrong with that?
You don't have to stay out till 11 o'clock at night eating spinach with
Spinach again?
You said he liked spinach.
You've got spinach on the brain.
I'm not talking about spinach.
All right, what are you talking about?
About you, that's who. You said you'd stop working after 6 months. We were supposed to settle down. After all, you are Mrs. Keneally.
I want that contract, and I'm going to get it.
Okay. Go on and get your contract. But I'm through, and I'm clearing out. I'm taking James Ambrose with me.
You're leaving James Ambrose here.
You can keep your gorillas and tigers and your spinach, too. And if you want to come back to me and James Ambrose, you'll have to come crawling on your hands and knees. That's what you'll have to do, you second-rate amateur, you.
So that's the situation, huh, Tommy?
Yes, Mr. Giblin. I told her off this morning.
And she won't let you have James Ambrose?
Oh, I should care. You know what I'm becoming?
What?
Reckless.
Oh, you're just a little perturbed. Why don't you go back
Mr. Giblin, I've gone out and worked for Madeline. Day in and day out. Slot machines, carrying bubble gum. From Bowling Green to Throg's Neck. A crease in my back. A crease where the strap hangs. Oh, that bubble gum. What did I ever get out of it? A wife that runs after a spinach maniac.
But Mr. Hudson is only trying...
Well, I've had more than enough. I'm going back to New York. I'm the super chief, too. I'll spend, I'll splurge, I'll become a derelict. That's what I'll become. And if she wants to reclaim me from the gutter, she'll have to come crawling to me on her hands and knees. Is she going to have a guilty conscience?
There's a storm brewing on the home front tonight, folks. What was once a state of happy bliss has deteriorated to a state of consternation. Accusation, alienation, and embarkation by the way of super chief, and back again to consternation. It's a vicious cycle. So what happens next? A buzz happens. A gentle buzzing at my door. Oh, it's you, Madeline. And little James Ambrose with his lemon and lime lollipop.
Oh, Mr. Giblin, I just had to come and see you. This past week has been just...
Restrain yourself, Madeline. Relax. I know the whole story.
About me and Tommy?
Yes, as a matter of fact, Tommy phoned me from New York this morning, person to person, long distance.
Oh, I'm so glad he's safe. I didn't know where... So that's where he went.
From the sound of his voice, I'd say he was not only frantic and distraught, he was even upset.
I'll never go back to him.
Those are harsh words, Madeline.
He thinks I'm no good. He called me an amateur. But I've got a career. Mr. Hudson told me. He's going to introduce me to Walter Morgan, and...
Listen, Madeline. You're a sweet and lovely girl. You got a lot of talent. I mean it. But confidentially, I think your place is back in the Bronx with geraniums on your windowsill and dandelion in your hair. Why, if I was you, I'd grab the first train and... What's the matter, kid?
You don't think I'm any good either.
Madeline, I didn't say that...
I'll have you know I won a medal for oratory back in junior high.
But my dear Mrs.
I'm not saying I'm the world's best actress.
Madeline.
But I'll show him. I'll show everybody. Maybe you think I'm not serious, Mr. Giblin. Maybe you think I ought to go back to pots and pans and slave for that 10th-rate songwriter. Him and his higgly-wiggly walruses. Well, I'll prove to him that I can be a star. When he sees my picture on all the billboards, and when he sees pictures of me sitting in the Hudge and Fudge restaurant with other celebrities, then he'll come crawling back to me on his hands and knees.
The situation, folks, is becoming incredibly worse. It's a problem. I paced my floor Monday. It's still a problem. I paced my floor Tuesday. Still a problem. I'm flustered. I'm distorted. Then all of a sudden... Bang! Like a sledgehammer, it hits me. I get an idea. And, folks, when Giblin gets an idea, Giblin gets an idea.
I'll be glad to cooperate, Giblin, but why does it have to be on July the 3rd?
Because, Mr. Walter Morgan, it's got to be on the 3rd of July the 3rd.
Sure, I'll cooperate, Giblin, but why must it be on July the 3rd?
Because, Mr. Gladfly, it's got to be on July the 3rd.
I've had a conference with Mr. Giblin, Mrs. Keneally.
Oh, yes, Mr. Morgan.
I suppose you've heard about our coming production, Boy Does Not Meet Girl?
Yes, Mr. Morgan.
Mr. Giblin advises me that you have talent, exceptional talent.
Oh, yes, Mr. Morgan.
You understand if we cast you in this role, you'll get a chance to sign up with us, a long-term contract.
Yes, Mr. Morgan.
Fine. Now, please be on hand for the screen test July the 3rd.
Yes, Mr. Morgan.
Are you getting the drift of my story, folks? Why, it's got everything. Suspense, conflict, confusion. But to advance the action, let us proceed with the next interlude. What happens? A buzz happens. A gentle buzzing at my door. Come in. Oh, it's you, Madeline. With James Ambrose and his lemon and lime lollipop.
Oh, I'm so excited about tomorrow.
Oh, you're gonna knock 'em dead.
I've got my lines memorized.
You've got some corking lines there, Madeline. Just give them with the right inflections and conjunctions, inflecting where you're supposed to inflect and conjuncting where you're supposed to conjunct, and that contract is indubitably yours.
But what I came to see you about, Mr. Giblin, is... Well, could we all go to the Hudge and Fudge restaurant after the screen test?
The Hudge and Fudge?
I mean, if we could have a picture taken with the celebrities, you know, after...
After signing a contract with Mr. Morgan, is that it?
Yes.
Madeline, you wouldn't be trying to make Tommy jealous, would you?
Oh, no, it's not... Yes, Mr. Giblin. I want to teach him a lesson he'll never forget.
You're very vindictive tonight, Madeline. However, regarding the Hudge and Fudge and etc., I'll make the arrangements. And when Giblin makes the arrangements, Giblin makes the arrangements. July the 3rd, the screen test. Everybody is there. Morgan is there. Madeline is there. I'm there. But all this is neither here nor there. Quiet. The camera is focused. The lights are up. Madeline speaks.
I have suffered. I have suffered much. I have suffered overmuch. Exceedingly too much suffered. And now I die. I pass away. I die.
Well,
How did I do, Mr. Gibbons? Was I...
Superb.
I knew it. I felt the part in every marrow of my bones.
Here's Mr. Morgan's office. He wants to see me, Madeline. Between you and me, I think you've landed a lifetime job this afternoon. Wait out here.
Well, tell Mr. Morgan there's no hurry about the contract. We can all go to the Fudge and Fudge first and...
Just as you say, Madeline. I'll be right back with the good news, kid.
Is she outside, Giblin?
Yes, Mr. Morgan. She's standing near the door.
I hate to do this, Giblin.
Come on. Don't waste time. Give it to me, and give it to me loud.
Mr. Giblin?
Yes, Mr. Morgan. Louder, Morgan, louder.
I was under the impression that we were to have a screen test this afternoon.
Well, of course. What seems to be the predicament?
Where is all this talent you've been telling me about?
Talent? Why, Madeline Keneally is bubbling over with talent.
Talent? Why, of all the preposterous impositions on my time.
That's the way, Morgan. Come on, louder.
Why, if I were honest enough, I'd go out and tell that dame to break her leg and get herself shot.
Superb. You're wonderful, Morgan.
A Missouri mule, Giblin. A Missouri mule without a script could have done a better job.
You're inspired, Morgan, my boy.
She was rank. She was futile. She was positively horrible.
Why, Madeline.
It's all right. I heard everything. I've heard enough. I want to go home.
But we can't go home yet. The Hudge and Fudge reservations. Madeline, the photographer.
I want to go home. I don't know what I'll do now, Mr. Giblin. I'll never be able to face Tommy again.
Oh, forget this afternoon.
I'm through. I'm finished.
If at first you don't succeed, Madeline...
No, I don't have talent. I never had talent.
Madeline, it's about time I let you in on a secret. Sure, I told Morgan you had talent, and I meant it. It's a fact, but I didn't tell him what kind of talent you got. The way I see you, kid, with those 3 freckles on your nose and your nice clean eyes, you're just bubbling over with talent. Talent to make somebody happy, your husband, your family. You got talent for being a wife, talent for picking a morning glory off a backyard fence, for throwing a lamb stew together, for singing a sweet and simple song for a guy who comes home tired at the end of the day. You're like millions of other kids, amateurs, strictly amateurs. But boy, what class. And speaking of amateurs, Madeline, this is still July the 3rd.
Why, what do you mean?
Major Gladfly's Amateur Hour. It's on right now. Listen to the amateurs, Madeline.
All right. That was Jack Preventator's trombone, ladies and gentlemen. And now our next contender. Your name, please.
Thomas Keneally.
Mr. Giblin.
Shh, quiet, Madeline.
You're going to sing an original song, I believe. That right, Mr. Keneally?
Well, it's not exactly original, sir. My wife wrote the words and I wrote the music.
Well, now, that's a very nice combination. Is your wife listening?
I don't know. I hope she is. And if she is listening, I hope the song makes her hit parade. Thanks be to God for a house that is warm and for hearts that are warmer still. Thanks be to God for the song of a bird and the sunset over the hill. Thanks be to God for the rain in the night, for trundle beds and candlelight. Thanks be to God when the storm is through. Thanks be to God when the sky smiles blue. And thanks be to God for you, dear. Yes, thanks especially for you. Yes, thanks, especially for you.
Mr. Giblin,
Yes, Madeline.
Tommy's music was beautiful.
Sure, but only because you wrote the words.
Tommy and I, we go well together, don't we?
That's right, Madeline. Matter of fact, it's one of the nicest combinations I know of. Husband and wife, together. They make sweet music, Madeline. Colossal, stupendous music. Together. Let me step out of character for a minute, folks. I'm the narrator, Jimmy Durante. I'm talking to you now as host of Family Theater. We gave you a story tonight, a radio play about a family. We people of the radio and movie industries, and that includes everybody from the big shot who owns the station down to the last kid who's knocking at the door of a talent agency. We've got something at stake, and that's the American family. Of course, I don't preach to people. I'm only supposed to be a comedian. Anyway, what I want to say is this. There's nothing more beautiful in this life than a happy family. I mean it. And maybe we should remember that sacrifice, patience, hardship, all these things, together with robins and sunsets, joys and laughter, make a happy family. We can't have these things unless we look back and up to God. That's why we say, pray. Pray to God as a family. That means getting our kids around us, in the parlor, in the kitchen. It means just for a few minutes, lifting our hearts and minds to God. Too many families are unhappy these days. Too many families are breaking up. These families don't know that a family that prays together stays together. Good night, and God bless you.
Our thanks to Jimmy Durante for his performance as Giblin, to Dennis Day for his portrayal of Tommy, and Barbara Eiler, who played Madeline. Others who appeared in tonight's play were Jack Crucian and Ira Brassell. A special word of thanks also to Timothy Mulvey for writing tonight's play, and to Max Terre for his music. The program was directed by David Young. Next week, our Family Theater star will be Lionel Barrymore in Blue Memorandum. Your host will be Ricardo Montalban. This series of the Family Theater broadcast is made possible by the thousands of you who felt the need for this kind of program, by the Mutual Broadcasting System, which has responded to this need, and by a friend of the New York Foundling Hospital, which cares for homeless and motherless babies without distinction of race, creed, or color. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
The Jell-O program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Beat Me Daddy with a Pickled Beef. Did you ever go out into an orchard, ladies and gentlemen, and pick fresh, ripe fruit right off the trees? Juicy, bright-colored fruit still warm with the summer sun? Well, it's just such pleasant memories as this that come to mind when you enjoy Jell-O. For Jell-O actually rivals the real ripe fruit itself, both in color and refreshment. Jell-O's gay, scintillating colors make Jell-O a tempting and attractive dessert. A dessert that always adds lots of charm and good cheer to every meal. And in Jell-O's full-body, tantalizing flavor, you experience a delight that's simply unexcelled. A tangy goodness that you'll insist on enjoying again and again. So get Jell-O tomorrow in all of Jell-O's 6 delicious flavors, Strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. Just one taste of this grand treat, and you'll know right away why rich, shimmering, genuine Jell-O is America's favorite gelatin dessert. Beat Me Daddy with a pickled beef played by the orchestra. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the next to the final broadcast of the season, we bring you a man who came to you last October fresh as a daisy and is now standing here faded as a fuchsia, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And, Don, I'm sure glad we've only got one more program to do. After 35 consecutive weeks of broadcasting, I'm worn out. Boy, I'm all in.
Oh, Jack, radio isn't as tough as all that. When you come right down to it, you only broadcast one day a week.
I know, Don, but think of all the preparation, the jokes, and the new ideas I have to have. I tell you, I'm exhausted.
Well, you've got writers, haven't you?
You mean corn and pone? Writers. A fine team. I bought them a typewriter the other day, and they did a maypole dance with a ribbon. A lot of help they are.
Where'd you ever find those boys, Jack? Were they professional writers when you picked them up?
No, they were just a couple of fast talkers. I met them in a drugstore in New York. One of them used to demonstrate hair tonic, and the other one drank it. Anyway, they told me they were writers, so I hired them, and I've been sorry ever since.
Well, Jack, if they don't do their work properly, why don't you get rid of them? Why don't you fire them?
No, I'm going to give them one more chance, Don. But if I don't grow hair by next year, out they go. No jokes, no hair, no wonder I'm tired.
Oh, Jack, you always have to make such a big issue out of everything.
What?
To hear you talk, anybody think you work like a dog.
Well, that's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. Why, Mary, do you realize what 35 weeks in radio takes out of me?
Well, you take something out of radio, don't you?
That's not the point. That doesn't tire me. It's the work I have to do. Just lucky that I have a good constitution and the strain doesn't show.
Not much. You're as washed out as a tea bag in a boarding house.
Well, that doesn't make sense because a used tea bag is tan and I'm as pale as a ghost. Now, you know what it's from, don't you? It's those weeks and weeks of hard grinding labor.
Labor? Do you call what you do labor?
Well, choo, 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 if it isn't the Honeymoon Express. What did you say, baby? That's what she calls them, folks. What did you say?
Look, Jackson, I've been listening to this chatter, and I don't know what you're beefing about. You only do one broadcast a week, don't you?
Yes, but I...
And that runs a half hour, right?
Yes, but I get more lines than anyone else on the program.
That's because you buy more hair tonic.
Mary, I'm talking to Phil.
And another thing, Jackson, out of that half hour, Don Wilson does 2 commercials.
Yes, but...
And Dennis Day sings a song.
I know, but...
And the boys and I do 10 minutes of music.
You do 10 minutes of. Let's not classify it. Music, he calls it.
Well, Alice thinks my band is wonderful.
Phil, Alice is a dear, sweet girl, and she's entitled to her opinion. But love is blind, and in this case, also deaf. Anyway, Phil, I don't know what you're driving at.
What he means, Jack, is this. When you boil it down, you personally work on this program only 13 minutes a week.
What?
Imagine, only 13 minutes.
Well, it's not the time involved, Don. It's the importance. For your information, it only took George Washington 12 minutes to cross the Delaware.
How do you know?
Jack was rowing the boat.
I was not. I missed it. I mean, I wasn't in the boat. Now, let me tell you guys something else.
Hello, everybody. What's all the excitement?
Oh, this gang. Hello, Dennis.
What's the matter?
Jack's complaining because he has to work 13 minutes a week.
Oh, where's he working?
at the Acme Buttonhole Factory in Extra Pants, Nebraska. Where am I working? I was just telling the gang that the strain of broadcasting week after week has made a wreck out of me.
Me, too. I'd have a nervous breakdown if I could find a sanitarium that would take tenors.
Dennis, what have you got to be tired about? You don't have that mental strain every week like I do.
Well, I suppose it doesn't take brains to sing a song.
No, not necessarily. Crickets can sing, and they don't have any brains.
Pardon me, Jack, pardon me. Crickets don't exactly sing. Their song comes from rubbing their hind legs together.
Oh.
Say, I'll have to try that sometime.
Do, Dennis, and let me know how it comes out. Meanwhile, let's have your song in the old-fashioned way. We're about ready.
Okay.
What's it going to be?
I'm going to sing You and I, a brand new number written by Mary Beth Wilson.
That's Meredith Wilson. He's a conductor on the Maxwell House program.
Oh.
Now go ahead. Hold it a minute. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
I wonder if your writers would sell me a bottle of hair tonic.
I imagine they would. Do you want to grow hair?
Yes, I'm tired of the wind and the rain in my scalp.
Oh, get out of here. You know, every time I see his head, I feel like sticking my finger in his ear and bowling. Well, go ahead and sing, Dennis.
With my legs on my tonsils.
With your tonsils. Forget about that cricket.
Oh, if a musician sing the same old tune to the sweethearts that come and go, let your intuition, aided by the moon, tell you little things a poet doesn't know. Darling, you and I know the reason why a summer sky is blue, and we know until our last goodbye. So to sweet romance there is just one answer. Why love will grow from the first hello until the last goodbye. So to sweet romance there is just one answer. You
was You and I, sung by Kenny Baker, and very good Kenny. You know, a song like that is especially good for your type of...
Kenny Baker? I'm Dennis Day, ain't I?
What? Oh, certainly. What's the matter with me? See, fellas, I'm so tired and nervous, I don't know what I'm talking about. You guys think I don't need a rest. You're all so smart. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
You're not mad because I'm not Kenny Baker, are you?
No, Dennis. I'm just confused, that's all. I'm irritable because I'm tired. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
If you think Kenny Baker can rub his hind legs together, why don't you get him?
Dennis, will you please stop interrupting? Now go crawl under the piano.
Okay. See you later.
And now, folks, what a kid. And now, folks, Mr. Don Wilson, that eminent American playwright, has written another of his famous one-act plays. Take it, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, before proceeding, I would like to announce that any resemblance in this play to persons living or dead is purely coincidental.
That's right.
The play opens in the home of Mr. and Mrs. Filbert Harris. Now, Jack Benny will play the part...
Hey, wait a minute. I object. I don't want any play about my personal life, Bud.
What's this got to do with you? Phil, the character in our play is Filbert Harris, not Phil. There's no connection. Go ahead, Don.
Filbert, an orchestra leader, has just finished playing a one-night stand on the sidewalk in front of the Ambassador Hotel.
Uh-huh.
Hey, now, hold it a minute. This guy's an orchestra leader, and I'm an orchestra leader. I smell a rat.
Well, it's not you. Continue, Don.
As the scene opens, Filbert's newly wedded wife, played by Miss Livingston, is at home waiting for her husband, Filbert, played by Mr. Benny. It is dinner time. Curtain, music.
Oh, dear, I hope Daddy isn't late. I prepared this meal for him with my own little hands. Gosh, look at that salad. I wonder if the lettuce goes under the tomatoes or over the tomatoes. Oh, well. That must be Baby now. Come in.
Well. Hiya, honey. Are you jiving? Are you on the beam? Are you solid?
Now, hold on there, Jackson. That guy is me. I talk like that.
Quiet, I'm telling you, this is a fictitious character. I'll take it again, Mary. Hiya, honey. Are you jiving? Are you on the beam? What's cooking, baby?
Ham hocks and butter beans.
Now you're in business, honey. Yeah. Now you're operating. Yeah.
Well, sit down, Phil.
Mary.
Bert.
Say, honey, this food is okay, but where are them whipped potatoes you said he was going to make?
We aren't having any. I couldn't find the whip.
Nice going, honey. That's a Lulu. You're in there punching, Alice.
Alice? Now I got you. That's my wife's name.
Phil, this Alice is A-L-Y-C-E. How does your wife spell her name?
Well, wait a minute. I'll call her up.
Believe me, it's A-L-I-C-E. There's no connection.
Go ahead, Jack. It's your line.
Oh, yes. Say, honey, are we having black-eyed peas with candied yams for dessert?
No, baby. We're having Jell-O.
Jell-O? Well, doggone, dish me, honey. Dish me. Yeah.
Not till you've had your ham hock.
All right, baby, I'll eat them ham hocks, but I'm going to save plenty of room for Jell-O. Yeah.
So you see, ladies, if you're hep and want to keep him solid with your husband, serve him a dish of tempting, appetizing Jell-O. It comes in 6 delicious flavors: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime. They're all Lulu!
Attaboy, Don. Attaboy. There, you see, Phil, aren't you ashamed of yourself? That play had absolutely no connection with you.
Well, I wish the quiz kids was here so I could check on that.
Don't worry about it. Well, Don, that was a very original playlet. And incidentally, while we're on our vacation, why don't you write up a few more for next season?
I'll try to. By the way, Jack, speaking of vacations, what are you doing this summer? You going out of town?
Well, Don, I intended to go to one of those big fashionable resorts. You know, where you have to dress for dinner and throw your money away. But I changed my mind.
You know how Jack hates to dress for dinner.
Yeah. So instead of that, Don, I intend to rough it. I'm going to a little place in the high Sierras called Eagle Nook Lodge and just fish my head off. It's way, way up in the mountains.
How high is the place, Jackson?
$3 a day.
Oh, you mean the altitude?
Yeah. It's about 7,000 feet, but it's ideal for me. Just give me a mountain stream and a fishing rod, and, brother, those trout better watch out.
Oh, sure.
You wait and see.
You couldn't catch a herring in Lindy's with Abe Lyman for bait.
Mary, one more word out of you, and I'm going to trade you in for a station wagon. So cut it out. Well, so much for my vacation. Now, how about a number, Phil?
Okay, Jackson.
Oh, Jack, I meant to ask you, who's taking over our show for the summer?
Well, Don, the sponsor has a brand new program lined up called Regular Fellas. And it's adapted from Gene Burns' famous comic strip of that name. You know, Pudd'nhead Duffy, Jimmy Dugan, and all those kids.
Oh, yes. Well, that sounds like it ought to be a lot of fun.
It'll be a swell show, Don, and I wish regular fellas a lot of luck on their summer series. Well, go ahead, Phil. Let's have your number. Now what? Come in?
Mr. Benny, I still can't find your writers. Where are they?
Look, Bud, it's none of my business, but I'm afraid hair tonic won't help you. How'd you lose your hair, anyway?
I pulled off a tight hat too quick.
Hair tonic. What that guy needs is a mop with a part in it. Play, Philip. There'll be some changes made, played by Phil Harris and his All-American Rhythm Kings. American Rhythm Kings meaning a perfect description of this outstanding musical organization, and all meaning I take it all back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to announce that next Sunday our final broadcast of the season will originate from the Naval Training Station in San Diego, California. Yes, sir. And incidentally, fellas, you know, I used to be in the Navy, and this will be a kind of a reunion for me.
I thought you were in the Army, Mr. Benny.
No, Dennis, the Navy.
Don't you remember? He was in that boat with George Washington.
Mary, I take an oath. I never even knew George Washington. Please believe me. But no kidding, fellas. Sometimes I regret ever having left the Navy. Gee, with that blue suit and my blue eyes, I was really something.
You really liked the service, huh, Jack?
I certainly did, Don. And I was getting along swell. Who knows, if I'd have stuck, I might have been an admiral today. With my chest just covered with medals.
How could you hold him up?
Mary, I really need a station wagon. Anyway, I was just talking about what might have been. You know, fellas, I often wonder if... I'll take it. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Oh, what do you want?
Boss, if you don't get our board out of the house, I'm leaving. That man's getting crazy every day.
Oh, for goodness sake, you're always worried about Mr. Billingsley. What's the matter now?
Well, he's been planning his summer vacation all day long.
All right, what's crazy about that?
He's out in the swimming pool right now taking swimming lessons. He's learning the Australian crawl.
Well, what's crazy about that?
He's going to swim to Australia.
Now, that's ridiculous. Mr. Billingsley is obviously kidding you. He can't be serious about swimming to Australia.
Oh, he means it, boss. He told me to meet him at the dock in San Pedro early tomorrow morning.
Oh, my God. What does he need you for?
He wants me to hit him on the head with a bottle of champagne.
Well, use the domestic, not the imported. Now, look, Rochester, don't let him leave the house. It's up to you to humor him.
Uh-huh.
Explain to him that he's not a boat.
That'll be pretty hard to do, boss. He's wearing 2 hats.
2 hats?
Yeah, he claims the top one is a poop deck.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Well, Rochester, keep him in the backyard by the swimming pool. And whatever you do, don't let him get away.
Too late, boss. There you go.
Well, catch him, stop him, humor him. Tell him before he leaves he's got to take on cargo.
He's loaded now.
Well, Rochester, do something. Lock the front door. I'll be home right after the broadcast.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
What?
Are you going to broadcast from San Diego next Sunday?
Yes.
Am I going with you?
Yes, Rochester, you're going to drive me down in the Maxwell. What are you laughing at?
If that Maxwell can get to San Diego, Mr. Billingsley's a cinch for Australia.
Never mind. And don't worry, we'll make it. Now, goodbye. Doggone, Mr. Billingsley really thinks he's a boat. I'll have to put a sign on his door, Pier 18. Ladies and gentlemen, we have saved a few minutes of our program this evening to bring you a message from a distinguished guest, one of the nation's outstanding Americans. A call has gone out, a call which concerns the very defense of America, one which affects vitally the morale of the 1.5 million men already called to the colors. Realizing this serious situation, the President of the United States, the Secretaries of War and of the Navy, and the Federal Security Administrator have called upon every American to support the United Service Organizations. Mr. Thomas E. Dewey has been drafted as National Campaign Chairman of the USO. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor and pleasure to present at this time the District Attorney of New York City, Mr. Thomas E. Dewey.
Thank you, Jack. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm mighty happy to be with you tonight. Now, Jack, after that fine introduction, I'd like to ask you something. What do you know about the USO?
Well, Mr. Dewey, I think, let's see, it's got something to do with soldiers or sailors. You know, if I'd have stayed in the Navy, I might have been an admiral today. Admiral Benny.
I know, Admiral. I heard your program.
Oh.
But, Jack, I'm afraid you don't know very much about the USO. But then neither do a lot of other Americans. Briefly, the USO is a joint effort on the part of the YMCA, the YWCA, Salvation Army, National Catholic Community Service, Jewish Welfare Board, and the Traveler's Aid to bring to the soldier, sailor, and Marine recreational and hospitality facilities outside the cantonment.
Oh, so the USO doesn't work in the camps themselves?
No, Admiral. I mean, Jack.
Yes.
The service clubs will be all located outside the camps and bases. I've just visited in the last 2 weeks, in traveling over 9,000 miles, more than 21 of the camps. Imagine some of these places with 30,000 men cooped up in a camp, and the nearest town has 1,700 men, women, and babies. When they get a day off, the men have no place to go and nothing to do. It's a pretty serious business when we transplant 1.5 million men from their homes and then leave them to think we've forgotten all about them. These men must know that 130 million Americans are really behind them.
Yes, Mr. Dewey, that's a swell idea. It's going to cost a lot of money, though, isn't it?
Not as much as you'd think. With the help of every real American, we can do a grand job for a little more than $10 million.
Well, but that won't build recreational centers, will it?
No, the federal government is supplying the buildings. It's up to the USO to get the funds to operate the clubs.
Well, how are you going to get this $10 million?
In every community in the United States, right now, the USO is organizing an appeal for funds. On June 3rd, the drive starts with a broadcast from every part of the country to dinners all over the country. Every American, regardless of his views on foreign policies or anything else, can unite on this job and through the USO get behind his own defenders. Thank you, Jack, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Tom Dewey. We appreciate your coming to us and telling us about the United Service Organization. I understand that we have contributed over $60 million to help those abroad. And this is the first time we have ever been asked to help our own American boys. I'm sure everyone realizes that taking care of our boys is our job. And I assure you, we Americans will do it.
Here's a grand dessert, ladies and gentlemen, that's not only delightfully unusual, but unusually delightful. A real novelty and a real treat. It's Jell-O's latest dessert triumph, Jell-O Charlotte. Something mighty good the whole family will enjoy. It's inexpensive, too, and of course, like all desserts you make with Jell-O, easy to prepare. Simply make up a package of cherry Jell-O as you usually do and chill until slightly thickened. Next, hollow out the centers of a dozen cupcakes and fill with the slightly thickened Jell-O. Then chill until firm and serve with a topping of snowy white whipped cream. And just watch the family response to this tempting new dessert surprise. So different and so delicious. Get a package of cherry Jell-O and make up this swell dessert. You'll find the cherry Jell-O, like strawberry and raspberry Jell-O, has a new improved flavor obtained by using a natural flavor base artificially enhanced. And this means a flavor that's better than ever. A rich, distinctive goodness that you find only in genuine Jell-O. So treat yourself to a new treat. Tomorrow night for dinner, serve Jell-O Charlotte, a luscious combination of dainty cupcakes and shiny, ruby red cherry Jell-O.
The last number of the 34th program in the current Jell-O series, and we will be with you again next Sunday night at the same time, doing our final broadcast from the Naval Training Station in San Diego. And after that, be sure and tune in every Sunday night to our sparkling summer show, Regular Fellas. Oh, Mary.
Yes, Jack.
I'm all in. Will you say good night for me?
Sure. Good night, folks.
Thanks.
J-E-L-L-O. The Jell-O program, coming to you from Hollywood, California, starring Jack Benny, with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. The orchestra opens the program with Silver Threads Among the Brass Section. As welcome as spring, as colorful as an April rainbow, that's Jell-O. One of the gayest, cheeriest desserts you ever laid eyes on. Jell-O's glowing colors offer a rich invitation you simply can't resist. And when you taste its intriguing flavor, you're tasting a flavor that's beyond compare when it comes to downright goodness. Because Jell-O's grand flavor is just as delightful and refreshing as the juicy, ripe fruit itself. Jell-O is one of the easiest desserts to prepare, too. It dissolves instantly in lukewarm water, sets as quick as a wink. So ask your grocer for several packages of Jell-O, choosing any or all of Jell-O's 6 delicious flavors: strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, or lime. By the way, next time you try strawberry, raspberry, or cherry Jell-O, just notice how much better they are than they've ever been before. Each has a new improved flavor obtained by using a natural flavor base artificially enhanced. And the result is something truly distinctive, really swell. Try a rich, shimmering mold of Jell-O tomorrow. Section played by the orchestra.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we bring you our master of ceremonies who has just returned from a quick trip to Chicago, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don Quick Trip is right. I was in Chicago and back before I knew it. 3,600 miles.
Oh, that's really traveling. Did you fly, Jack, or did you go by train?
I took the train, Don, and that's the first time I've ever been on the Streamliner. You talk about modern design, I never saw anything like it. Like the engine was streamlined, the coaches were streamlined, and the compartments were so compact and narrow.
Well, you see, Jack, that's to cut down wind resistance. Everything has to be streamlined.
I know, Don, and I'm in favor of it. But when the conductor asked me to tape back my ears, I thought that was going too far. After all, how much can they slow the train down? But at that, you do save a lot of time.
Oh, there's no question about it. In fact, the next time I go east, I think I'll take the Streamliner myself.
With your hips? That would spoil the whole effect. Huh?
After all, Jack, I could do the same as you did and take my hips back.
You could, eh? Well, Don, let me know when you're going to use that much adhesive tape. I want to buy some Johnson & Johnson stock. That'll really start a boom. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. Good to see you. We kind of missed you around here all week.
Well, thanks, kid.
I'll bet it was pretty chilly in Chicago, huh?
Well, it was for me, Mary. I'm used to this warm California climate, and that cold air sort of got me. My teeth were chattering all the time.
Why didn't you put them in your pocket?
Well, there's our little Mary right on schedule. I go all the way to Chicago to appear at a benefit, and you can't even ask me, did they like me? How did I go over? Was I a big hit?
I'll ask you, Jack. Were you a big hit?
Don, they adored me. There were 6,000 people in that Civic Opera House, and when I made my entrance, you'd think that, oh, let's forget it. Nobody but a conceited ham could describe that ovation. Really, the minute I walked on that stage, the audience screamed.
Well, how often do they see a guy with his ears taped back?
That wasn't the only reason. I've always been a big hit in Chicago.
Hiya, Jackson. You back in town?
Yep.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't make it. I was going to do a lot of those snappy gags tonight.
Oh, you were?
Yeah, I had a swell monotone already.
That's monologue. Monotone.
I wish you wouldn't correct me all the time, Jackson. It makes people think I don't know big words.
Well, you don't. Been going to night school for 6 months now. When are you going to learn something?
Don't worry, I'll get there. Romeo wasn't built in a day.
Oh, fine. Romeo, yes.
Say, Phil, why don't you ask Jack if he was a big hit in Chicago? Don and I got a face full of it already.
Well, I was a hit. What do you want me to do, lie about it?
Oh, yeah, you played that big benefit for the Greek war relief, didn't you?
Yes, and it was a swell affair, too.
Did you get paid for it?
No, it was a benefit, Mary. Naturally, I didn't get any money.
Did you know that ahead of time?
Well, certainly. Certainly I did. Of course.
Well, didn't you even sell magazines on the train?
Oh, quiet. And that reminds me, Mary, I want you to stop kidding me about being cheap. Thanks to you, I had the most embarrassing thing happen at the station in Chicago.
What was it, Jack?
Well, Mary keeps saying I'm cheap so much, people get to believe it. Here's what happened, Don. I got off the train in Chicago carrying 4 heavy grips, and all the red caps just stood there looking at me.
You mean they didn't offer to take your baggage?
No, they just stood there. So I said, well, how about it? Will one of you fellows help me or not? Finally, one little red cap came over and said, I'll take your grips, Mr. Benny.
Uh-huh.
So I said, are you sure you want to? He said, yes, if you can do a benefit, I can. So you see, Mary, you're to blame for the whole thing.
All right, why don't you buy a second-hand gun, 1 bullet, and shoot me?
That's exactly the kind of remark I'm referring to.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Did you have a good time in Chicago?
You're a little late tonight, aren't you, young man?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, Dennis, but I'll have to fine you $10.
Well, the benefit's over.
Mary, that's an old established rule on this program. The last one in gets it. I'm sorry, Dennis.
Well, it's not my fault, Mr. Benny. I was stuck in a phone booth for 10 minutes.
Stuck in a phone booth? What do you mean?
Well, I was talking to my girl over the phone.
Uh-huh.
And when I kissed her goodbye, my lips got caught in the mouthpiece.
My goodness, Dennis, as long as your girl wasn't right there, you didn't have to kiss her with so much feeling.
Well, she says I'm better over the phone than in person.
Well, she ought to know. What a kid.
Say, Jackson, that reminds me. Did you call up that number I gave you in Chicago?
What number?
You know, the one I gave you before you left. Mamie Peterson.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a smart trick you pulled on me, Phil. I called her up and her husband answered the phone.
That was Mamie. She talks like a man. What? You ought to hear her sing Asleep in the Deep.
I can imagine. Well, I'm not going to discuss it now, Phil, as we have a long show. Dennis, are you ready for your song?
How can I sing with this mouthpiece on?
You'll sing. You'll sing. Go ahead.
This is some program. Dennis is wearing a mouthpiece, you got tape on your ears, and my slip is showing.
Well, pull it out. Sing, Dennis.
In the night, in the magical light of the moon, knowing how soon night is gone. Ooh, hearts that join in a glance and discover romances are made only to fade with a dawn. For now you are mine, and my heart was aglow with a power beyond divine. Two hearts have tasted delight. Must they always be lonely, alas? Two hearts that pass in the
That was Two Hearts That Pass in the Night, sung by Dennis Day through a mouthpiece which belongs to the Southern California Telephone Company. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as we announced last week, for our feature attraction this evening and our cultural contribution of the season, we have with us tonight 4 youngsters from one of radio's most popular programs, which comes to you every Wednesday night from Chicago, the Quiz Kids. These children are here tonight to match wits with Mary Livingston, Don Wilson, Dennis Day, and Phil Harris. And I will be the quizmaster. That is, I will ask the questions.
You're picking out a pretty safe job, ain't you, Jackson?
No, that's not it. That's not it at all.
Of course not. I can understand Jack's side of it. He's had much more experience in the quiz kids, and naturally he doesn't want to take advantage of them.
Certainly.
And besides, he's as yellow as a banana.
Oh, I'm yellow, eh? Well, for your information, Mary, a week from next Wednesday, I am going to be quizzed on the Quiz Kids program.
Well, you won't need that tape. They'll pin your ears back.
Oh, quiet. Now, let's see. Where did I put that list of baffling questions?
Oh, Mr. Benny,
Yes?
do I have to answer some of the questions, too?
Yes, Dennis, and I'm depending on you to pull the Jello team through to ultimate victory. Do you think you can do it?
Yes, sir.
Good. And now, folks...
Ultimate? What does that mean?
Oh, fine. That's a nice start we're getting, huh?
Don't worry, Jackson. Ask me the tough one. I'll pull it through to ultimate. That's ultimate victory.
Phil? That's ultimate victory. Ultimate is an adjective.
Why not?
Well, I'd call this off right now, but the Quiz Kids came all the way from Chicago. Don, I hope you won't let us down.
I'll do my best, Jack. Of course, it's only fair to tell you that in school I flunked in everything but cooking.
I see.
What's going to happen to us shouldn't happen to Einstein.
You've got something there, Mary. Oh, well, we'll do the best we can. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this battle of wits will go on immediately after a short number by Phil Harris. And then we will... Hold it a minute. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
Rochester, I'm very busy right now. You'll have to call me later.
But this is important, boss. Carmichael just came out of hibernation.
Carmichael? Why, that's impossible. That polar bear was supposed to sleep in the basement for 2 more weeks. How did he happen to wake up?
Well, the gas man went downstairs to read the meter, and all of a sudden it sounded like feeding time at the zoo.
Oh, my goodness. Well, what happened to the gas man?
I don't know, but I doubt if we get a bill this month.
Now, that's just silly. Rochester, Carmichael wouldn't hurt a fly. He was just playing, that's all.
Yeah, but where's the man?
Stop being so pessimistic. Now, Carmichael's pretty hungry after sleeping all winter, so the first thing you have to do is give him a big dinner.
Well, all we got in the icebox is some roast beef.
All right, put that on a plate and give it to him.
Uh-huh.
But don't let him eat too fast. This is his first meal.
Second meal. Where's the man?
Forget about the gas man. He must have run away. Now, there's nothing to be afraid of, Rochester. After you feed Carmichael, take him in the bathroom and give him a nice warm bath.
Uh-huh.
Scrub him good, comb his hair, and brush his teeth.
Uh-huh.
And then, after you've done that...
After I've done what?
After you brush his teeth.
I forgot to tell you while I was combing his hair, I fainted.
What?
Threw some brandy on me.
Now, cut that out. And if you're such a baby, I'll take care of the whole thing when I get home. Now, goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, say, boss.
Now what?
Are you really going to have the quiz kids on your program tonight?
Yes, I am.
They're supposed to be pretty smart, ain't they?
They're brilliant. They know everything.
Well, ask them what happened to the gas man.
Will you forget about that? And goodbye. I can't understand why Carmichael got up so early this year. He must have had coffee before going to bed. Play, Phil. I'm sure the gas man got away all right.